Started at night and finished the next day. They ran in the rain and under the sun. There were yellow flags, red flags, and wrecks. The slick one-groove surface meant trouble was the name of the game. Staying out of it was the key to success. Forget the horsepower. It's old-school racing when stock cars take to this three-quarter-mile track. 400 laps from Richmond International Raceway. Next on Winston Cup Wednesday.
Over 100,000 fans ready for Winston Cup racing from Richmond here on FX. It's the first night race of the season, and if the rain clouds are forgiving, 43 stars will come out and shine. Tony Stewart, he won here last year, but last night they had to change the engine in his car. Can he win starting from back of the pack? Virginian Ward Burton starts on the pole. Can he win for the first time since the Daytona 500? And Dale Earnhardt Jr. had a nasty wreck last week, despite starting on the front row tonight after winning in Talladega. How might that affect him in this race? The answers are 400 action-packed laps away, where the drivers will be fighting their way to the front all night.
Let's take you down through the way they'll line up tonight. Ward Burton's Dodge sharing the front row with Dale Earnhardt Jr., who makes his first front row start of the season. Tony Stewart goes to the back. Jeff Gordon's also won here twice. Steve Hart fourth in both his last two Richmond starts, and Kyle Petty got his first win here. Matt Kenseth, Bobby Labonte goes to the back. As well, engine change. Ricky Craven with Rusty Wallace, a six-time winner here. One of the favorites among our Fox announcers, Ricky Rudd. There with rookie Ryan Newman. Jerry Nadeau and Jeff Green. Take you further back in the field. Joe Nemechek starting for the injured Johnny Benson. 43-car field. Kevin Grubb was the only driver who missed the field. He was 37th fastest, but no provisionals for that new Rick Goodwin team.
And Mike, because Joe Nemechek is a substitute driver, he did not qualify the 10 car. He will have to go to the rear, as well as Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart, for their engine change.
And we got to remember now that 10 car was really fast in happy hour. They had a great car. He was the quickest car in practice. So, and Joe's, he likes Richmond. He'll run well here tonight. Just needs to get a break early on. Don't get any trouble. Which could be said for all those guys that got to drop to the back, because it's going to be a little tense here for a lap or two.
But you know, Darrell, we go to Talladega, we talk about give and take. We go to Bristol, we talk about give and take. But based on the Busch race last night and knowing the conditions of this racetrack, yeah, you can run 3 wide down this front straightaway, but there has to be give and take. Get into turn 1 just like get into turn 3.
Well, it's like anything else you do, Larry. You don't want to be the one to give. That's the problem. And so you go down there. It's like playing chicken. You listen. I can hear that guy beside me. Is he going to let out that throttle? He going to let out that throttle? And if he does, you're fine. If he doesn't, wrong.
We have a caution flag.
Of note, the 2-point leaders, Marlin and Busch, starting way back in rows 18 and 19. All right, tonight's weather and race analysis is brought to you by Lilstrom and Ultra. 43 cars, as we've said, will race 400 laps. And Larry, that pit window, you could do this on 3 pit stops with no cautions.
Yes, you could. I mean, tires are pretty important here. Normally, the fuel window is not an issue, but we've seen, Darrell, in the middle part of this race before, where they finally settle down, that we may see some long green runs.
Well, right now, what NASCAR's doing is they're talking to the drivers. The crew chiefs are talking to the drivers. Everybody's asking them what they think about the racetrack. I got to believe that the track is in pretty darn good shape. It's dry all the way around. The apron even looks pretty good. So I'd say we're going to go green here before long, guys.
Just look at this weather here. Look at 49 degrees. You heard a lot of the drivers and teams that we interviewed, they tested up here in the 90s. That's 50-something degrees cooler.
Kind of like wasting a test, wasn't it?
Hey, pace car off.
It's Saturday night.
And
in Richmond, Virginia. Let's go.
Be ready.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. All right. Hold your breath, guys. Everybody down in here nice and clean.
Made it through turn 1 and 2, all clean. Inside line, the one moving right now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. main car, the Budweiser car. He's trapped on the outside. He'd like to get down in front of Matt Kenseth before they get to turn 1.
Jeff Gordon's in the same boat. He's caught up on the outside, can't get
Steve Park got a great jump from 5th to 2nd. Good, clean start.
Right now we have everybody running around the bottom except for Jeff Gordon in the 24. Looks like Mark Martin in the 6th car. We have single file back to about 20.
Kyle Petty underneath Jeff Gordon. 7th place.
There's just not a whole lot these guys can do right now caught on the outside until they find an opening. The greatest news in the world from the spotter, clear low.
Yeah, and you're just waiting for him to give you a number. Give me a car number I can get in behind.
For 2nd place, that's the battle. Earnhardt Jr. takes it from Park.
That's how you make a lot of your passing, is you out-drag race them down the front stretch or down the back stretch, take that bottom groove getting into the corner, and out-break them getting into the corner.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I know it's back in the pack, but Tony Stewart just put a big move on 3 or 4 cars getting down into turn 1. He was down on the apron.
Well, you heard Greg Simpidelli, his crew chief, say we're going to be patiently aggressive. That's what you have to do at a short track. You have to be patient. But right now, Tony Stewart's in turn 1. The leader's going into turn 3. He's a half lap down already.
Gordon finally got in line, and now he'll start to work the inside and get somebody moved up out of the way.
They have Kyle Petty in the 45 kick to the high side. Jeff Green in the 30 car. Jerry Nadeau in the 25 car. He was fast in practice as well.
Ricky Craven cleared that group. He's now in the 7th position, right behind the number 12, Newman. You know, of all the multi-car teams that were here, the only multi-car team that qualified its cars close together was Penske, with Wallace 9th and Newman 12th. They're running nose to tail in the top 10, but the other multi-car teams have cars spread out all the way through the field.
And the Penske group was one of the few multi-car teams that both teams came here and tested. Ryan Newman and Rusty Wallace both tested.
Craven under Newman.
Craven's got a fast car. OTIDE looks pretty good tonight.
Craven up to 6th. You see him trying to chase the rear bumper of Rusty Wallace.
And this is not the car that Ricky Craven actually ran at Martinsville so well, but it is the car that he ran very well at Darlington and Rockingham, sitting on both the poles at those racetracks.
And that is a new paint job on there. Brian McNamara, the brand manager of Tide, told me that that's a trick paint job that they came up with. I kind of like it.
Terry Labonte underneath Kyle Petty. Kyle just can't seem to find a home in the low groove as now Mayfield slips underneath and brings Jeff Burton with him.
Yeah, he started in 6th. He's all the way back to 13th, kicked on the high side. He just can't get to the bottom. Kevin Harvick in the 29 car goes by him.
Yeah, Kyle's got to be so careful. It's tempting to cut down in front of somebody, but if you watch last night's race, you do not want to try that.
You heard the spotter say clear behind the 29 car. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, give me a number.
And Harvick's coming. He started 23rd. He is up to 16th. Ward Burton, the pole sitter, has led all the 10 laps so far. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has moved into 2nd ahead of his teammate Steve Park. And Jeff Burton has come from 21st position. Burton is up to 14th.
I really liked the way my car drove. Didn't really know how much the change in the weather would make from racing night to day. Didn't sleep very well that night because I was worried about it, trying to figure out what to do. But at night, my car was really, really good.
Winston Cup Wednesday is brought to you by Conseco, helping America's financial needs. Conseco, step up.
Okay, sweetie, on your toes. Swing through the ball, through it. Eye on the ball, hon. We're working on the forehand. Okay, let's try backhand. We'll work backhand. Okay, you just need to connect with the ball. Let's stay in the game, sweetheart. Now, don't be afraid to charge the net.
How do you plan on financing your retirement? Conseco's annuities have tax advantages that can help. Conseco, step up.
Hey, want to switch?
Sure.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Avalanche. The only vehicle that switches from an SUV to a pickup.
Good idea.
Chevy Avalanche, Motor Trend's 2002 Truck of the Year. Avalanche, like a rock.
Nothing outperforms new Mobil 1.
Wouldn't it be great if you could go beyond the movie? Welcome to Spider-Man, the game. Battle more vicious villains. Master more spider skills. And combat evil high above the city streets. Can you hang with that? Spider-Man, the game. Rated E for everyone.
I like Richmond. I mean, I like short track racing. I mean, that's how all of us have been brought up. So it's fun to go there and race under the lights and you know, slam bang racing, you know. I mean, that's how everybody gets brought up, so it's fun.
22 laps, the 22 car has led them all. Ward Burton from South Boston winning the pole in this new car, the first in-house short track car, in-house chassis build at Bill Davis Racing. And Randy Renfro is slowing on the backstretch.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
That car looks like it's got like the carburetor is flooding over on it or something, because it just has black smoke pouring out the pipe. Can you believe a caution for no accident?
First time this weekend?
First time all weekend.
Second time. We had a debris caution last night.
Gosh.
We'd had so many wreck cautions, there had to be debris.
Yeah.
Darrell, I think we'll see most of the leaders stay out, but I think the guys at the back of the pack, good chance for them to get 4 tires. Plus, if your car's not handling good chance to get 4 tires and make adjustment. This guy right here, Tony Stewart, he was only 6 seconds from going a lap down back in 32nd position.
And now is when I like to get out of sequence. Ooh, this is a great opportunity to get out of sequence.
Well, our leader, Ward Burton, his crew chief, Tommy Baldwin, the king of short pitting, but this would be short pitting.
But I think, again, if you're at the back of the pack, like Darrell's saying, come in and get those 4 fresh tires, your hopes would be then, in another 15 or 20 laps, you get another caution, and that would put you off sequence.
Yes.
We see the back of the field starting to hit pit road, about the back 10 cars.
Sadler, Michael Waltrip, Jimmy Spencer on pit road. Tony Stewart's in, Brett Bodine, Hunt Strickland, Bobby Labonte, Bill Elliott, Rick Mass, and Robbie Gordon.
The crisp, clean, refreshing taste that comes from beechwood aging makes Budweiser the king of beers.
Check out Sunday's Winston Cup race from an insider's perspective on Winston Cup Wednesday. Enhanced coverage gets you inside the race teams from the track to the pits. And this week, Speed gives you Winston Cup Wednesday Viewer's Choice. Log on to speedtv.com and tell us which NASCAR race from this season you want to see again. The race with the most votes gets a replay from flag to flag on Speed. Winston Cup Wednesday Viewer's Choice. Next Wednesday night at 8, only on Speed Channel.
When you have money problems, just going to the mailbox can be frightening. The bills and balances keep piling up. You're scared to even look. It's the same when the phone rings. You know it's another creditor, so you're afraid to answer. I don't know how my debt got so out of control. I thought bankruptcy was the only way out. And then I called Ameridebt and found the answer.
Every day, Ameridebt helps more people with money problems. We're a nonprofit organization offering free consultations and solutions to consumers seeking to eliminate their debt.
Now I don't have to struggle to keep up my monthly payments, and I won't spend the next 20 years paying off my credit card bills. Ameridebt contacted my creditors. They were able to get my interest rates reduced, and my payments were almost cut in half. Now my balances are dropping, and I only have one small monthly payment.
Call this number, and in minutes, regardless of your situation, Ameridebt can help change your financial future. Ameridebt gave me my life back. Ameridebt, helping America get out of debt.
How about we stand on the volume control?
I got mine now turned up.
How about 34,000 horsepower? Let's crank it up.
Jr. gets underneath Matt Kenseth, and that's second place.
Yeah, he was all over the back of Kenseth, and Rusty and Junior both was, whoa. Yeah, Kenseth was holding those guys up, and man, they put a hammering on him.
The carburetor was stumbling off the corner, and when he passed Earnhardt, then he got up in front of Dale, and the carburetor stumbled, and Earnhardt ran into him. You know, and then he couldn't get it to run off the corner, and every time he passed one of the guys, they would run in the back of him. So that's what the problem was.
Hear that train whistle again.
Yeah, and what happened now, see, everybody's had a few laps here. They've kind of settled in. They got their game face on now. They're starting to play a little rough. Time to go. Crew chief's got on and say, look, can't lollygag around like that anymore. Got to go.
Whoa! Just ahead of this, Jeff Green under Steve Park. And
boy, Kenseth is just, he's going to get spun out.
I believe those boys did get together just a little bit. Steve Park in the 1, Matt Kenseth in the 17.
Man, this battle isn't over with yet. I don't know.
Jeff Gordon on the high side.
I think Kenseth's just trying to get back in line.
You know, Darrell, I think if we get a few laps under our belt on this racetrack, I think that second groove will come in. I mean, we saw 2 and 3 grooves being used at both races here last year.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be up against the wall like we've seen them here a few times, but they could get enough to where they could pass anyway. That's all you really hope for, so you can pass.
Now, look at what Matt Kenseth has been through since they dropped the flag for the restart. First, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Whoops. Next, Jeff Gordon.
Whoa!
That was loose.
Well, I tell you, he just kind of, he can't go.
Terry Labonte by him.
They're going to bump him right onto the rear the way they're going.
Somebody to watch tonight, Darrell. Jeff Green powered his way up to 4th place.
Well, you know, he ran a little bit of the Busch race last night. He didn't get to run a lot of it, but he did run probably enough to maybe make some good adjustments on his car.
Yeah, he started back in 14th, so he's definitely on the move. He actually ran the Winston Cup race here in September in that 30 car, one of the few races he ran last year for Richard Childress Racing.
He's come to 4th and is chasing down Rusty Wallace. Meanwhile, Steve Park sits in 5th spot. Let's go to his pit.
Mike, Steve Park is fighting a push from the center off. The crew chief, Paul Andrews, said, Steve, your car has insurance. I added air pressure in the left rear and put wedge in before we started. This will help the car come in, but it'll come in gradually.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, I'm getting passed by everybody out here.
Darrell, it's got to be hard when that crew chief says be patient.
Oh, yeah, and you got people banging into your back bumper.
And driving underneath you.
They're all around you like bees, and they're swatting at them, and crew chief tells you to be patient.
I mean, you see by the Fox tracks right here that he continues to lose ground to our leader right now, Ward Burton. Here's the miles per hour. This is driving off into turn 3, up about 133 miles an hour, right at about 95 miles an hour in the middle of 3 and 4. We're going to see more miles per hour on the front stretch because it's about 400 feet longer. You're in the gas a lot longer. About mid-140s getting into turn 1.
Yeah, you'll probably turn 300 to 400 more RPM going down into turn 1 than you will up that little short back straightaway.
Ward Burton, it's only the second time he's ever led a race at Richmond. It's the 7th race, though, that he has led this year.
Well, I watched him in practice in happy hour, and, you know, other than Johnny Benson, he was the second fastest car, and he was zinging by people out there in happy hour about like he is here in the race tonight.
And I don't mean to say it's easy out there where he is. I mean, right now he's about a 2 or 4 second lead. But if we stay green and we run another 15 or 20 laps, when it becomes tough, Darrell, and you have to use patience, is when you catch the back of the field. We got a battle for second right here, battle for third. Jeff Green in the 30 and Rusty in the 2 car.
Yeah, you were talking about Green. I just wanted you to know that Green just made a pass.
Now he's 4.2 seconds off the lead. As you see what that looks like to Ward Burton, the race leader, down here entering turn 1. Ward Burton stays in command here at Richmond International Raceway, and the Pontiac Excitement 400, 45 laps old.
What would you do with the Pontiac Grand Prix?
Later, Georgia. Daytona.
To go around that track?
Oh, this is incredible.
Oh my God, there's Tony Stewart.
Awesome.
I'll take you guys for a lap.
Oh, yeah. Grabbing the corner. Oh.
Man, I am sticking to this seat. You guys want to take this one for a spin?
Go.
I'm going to make them wet their pants. Could you handle a Pontiac Grand Prix?
With the new Freedom V-twin engine and 25% more power, the 2002 Victory motorcycles challenge all other cruisers. Anytime, anywhere. Take the Freedom Challenge. See your Victory dealer for a test ride and get a free t-shirt.
What are you doing this weekend? Widen your horizons. You can fly. Right now, try flying for just $49. Call 1-888-BE-A-PILOT or check out
beapilot.com.
Ever dream you could fly? You can fly in a lot less time and for a lot less money than you thought.
Now this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Try flying now for $49. 1-888-BE-A-PILOT.
Or check out beapilot.com.
You can store all this at Public Storage and pay just $1 for the first month's rent. You can store all this at Public Storage and still pay just $1 for the first month's rent. You can even store all this at Public Storage and still pay just $1 for the first month's rent. Call 1-800-44-STORE now. Offer ends soon.
Speed Channel presents the most comprehensive motorsports news show on television, Speed News.
Our mission, keep you up to date with more information from around the world of motorsports.
Speed News on Speed Channel. No one gets you closer.
It's always a great racetrack. It's a hometown race for me, and a lot of people that watched me grow up as a race car driver and as a person are there in the grandstands, and that means an awful lot to go out and try to do well in front of them. You feel like you kind of have a home court advantage, and you want to take advantage of it.
Ward Burton well out in front. At 52 laps, he is just smoking the field.
Yeah, well, if it was Sunday afternoon, you could say he was cruising on a Sunday afternoon, but he's having a pretty good Saturday night ride here.
And, you know, Tommy Baldwin, his crew chief, told me on Friday, this brand-new race car, untested, Bill Davis Racing, a lot like other of the major race teams, starting to build their own chassis. This is an in-house chassis.
Moments ago, Matt Kenseth, Steve Park again, and Jerry Nadeau smokes it up.
Steve Grissom got up out of the groove off of 2 over there and just now, and I don't know if he got in the fence or not. He got mighty close.
The real downside when you start banging wheels like that is knocking one of those valve stems off and having a flat tire. You don't run the safety line or the inner shield here because it's basically considered a short track.
And this is about how much patience that some of these guys got, 50 laps. They're out of patience.
Looking back from Kenny Schrader. Teammates pacing 4th and 5th.
Anybody working a top groove yet? No, everybody's single file on the bottom. Yeah, I want to know if anybody's working a top groove yet. It's pretty much single file, Rusty.
You know, everybody's running the bottom, and the sealer was rolling up and moving to the second groove. And if anybody went to the second groove, there's just marbles up there, and you couldn't run on it. You know, if the track quit coming up on the inside and the marbles quit rolling up there, you could get the second groove coming in, but with the majority of the field running on the bottom, it just kept, you know, pushing all those marbles up, and there's nothing to get a hold of in the second groove.
Now, Matt Kenseth now has dropped back to 9th place. Dick Berggren?
Well, Matt had worked his way up to second spot. Then he got pushed around by a bunch of other cars. Wound up at 12th, worked his way up to 9th. Crew Chief Robbie Reiser, what's going on with your race car?
We're doing all right. Just got punted around a little bit on the restart there and got knocked out of the groove. And when he first could get back in line, he was back in about 12th. So he's working his way back now.
All right. Kenseth's car's okay. He's on his way back up to the front.
As you can tell, it's as loud down there as it is chilly here at Richmond. A little bit of sprinkles on the glass here. We've completed 58 of 400 laps.
Boy, and I tell you, this little bit of rain, if we get a caution here, that's good news for some of these guys that are back in the field, because closing in up in a hurry. Ward Burton set a blistering pace.
And I mean, Kyle Petty is one of them that started back in 6th. He's about 2 seconds from being lapped.
Jeff Green is running this race like it's a 100-lap Saturday night feature. He has just bombed his way right up into second place.
And we've talked about it already a couple of times, Darrell and Mike. I just feel like that what little feedback those guys that ran the Busch race, Jeff Green didn't run a lot of it, but I think he ran enough that he learned something, was able to convey it to his crew chief, Todd Barrier, make that car better for tonight. Steve Burns.
Hey, Larry Mack, Jeff Green just told Todd Barrier the race car, as caution comes out, the race car is very good in turns 3 and 4, but rain's starting to come out now.
Well, the key will be, can we keep the heat in the racetrack?
What happens on a short track? Well, actually, we run 4 or 5 laps with it raining in turn 3, entering turn 3, but we're spread out so far around there, and all the cars keep it dry, so it wasn't that bad. They called it a little earlier than I thought they would.
Now, I think there's no question those cars at the front of the pack that did not pit the first time on lap 24, they'll come to the pits. I mean, because we're not going to run no 140 laps of caution should it continue to rain. So go ahead, come in, get your 4 tires, make your adjustments. But you have to be careful. As we noted, pit road still is damp. It's not completely dry.
Well, now, some of these guys, like Tony Stewart and others that pitted in last caution, they'll probably stay up.
But most of the field is coming to pit road.
And those guys have about 30 laps on their tires. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if most of them come to pit road. Tony Stewart and that group, they are coming to pit road. Looks like basically Dale Jarrett, what he'll try to do is maybe at least stay out and lead a lap and get 5 bonus points.
I think his game plan was to stay out, Dick.
Now, Matt Kenseth is pitting for 4 tires and 2 cans of fuel. They're going to make a track bar adjustment to try to make the chassis a little bit better. To Steve Burge.
Thanks, Nick. Jeff Green in. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, a half a pound out of the left rear on the 34 tires, and his service is done.
Sterling Marlin bumped a member of Robbie Gordon's crew, knocked him off his feet, but the crewman was quickly back on his feet and completed the pit stop. Very close quarters there.
It appears that only 5 cars actually stayed out. Dale Jarrett, Michael Waltrip, Hermie Sadler, Bobby Hamilton, and Frank Kimmel. Again, they all pitted back about 30 laps ago. Looks like Hermie Sadler, no, too. He's going to come to pit road now, so that leaves only 4 cars that didn't pit. Only car out of the race, Randy Renfro, retired his car after bringing the caution out back on lap 24.
Well, and Dale Jarrett started 39, so this is what he planned. You know, he come in on that first one. Now he's got track position. Now he can race. From here on, he's even with everybody. Matt?
Well, down here in the 22 pit of Ward Burton, no adjustments in the 22 car. He mentioned to Tommy Baldwin under the caution, the car was just a little more free than he would like, but the car is fast. Meanwhile, on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Budweiser number 8, they made a wedge adjustment. His car was great on entry, great up off the corner, but it was just a little too tight.
Just a light shower falling, but that's enough to keep us from going back to green.
And as far as the cars that pitted, Rusty Wallace, that 2 group, they won the battle off pit road, but he'll actually restart the race in 5th. Ward Burton, they came out 3rd out of the pits, but he'll have to restart in 7th.
Well, the hardest thing about being divorced is staying close to my daughter Rachel. Being separated by 3 states is really difficult.
He's my dad. I just have to be able to talk to him more.
With AT&T Unlimited, you can talk to any AT&T residential long-distance customer for as long as you want. It's for $19.95 a month.
He listens to me. I love you. He's so fun.
It doesn't feel like 3 states anymore.
Call 1-800-REACH-OUT.
At the Beef and Bird Cook-Off, does anyone use a gas grill?
You couldn't get anybody out here to cook with gas.
Definitely want to use charcoal. Because when it comes to flavor...
Proven fact that charcoal is better than gas.
And the charcoal of choice.
Kingsford, for sure.
Kingsford Charcoal, because taste is everything.
Today we are asking ourselves a lot of questions. Esteban, the lights. Mr. Foley. Questions like, where will I go from here? What do I need to get there? Will I have help along the way? As we stand on the threshold of a bright future, there are answers, and the folks at Dell have them. They'll help you figure out exactly the PC that's right for you, all at a price no scholar can debate. So I say to you today, Carpe Dimension, seize the Dell!
Call or go online now and get a Dimension desktop for just $6.99, featuring an Intel Pentium 4 processor that delivers awesome performance for today's digital media, music, photos, gaming, and beyond. And for a limited time, you'll pay nothing for 90 days. There's great deals on notebooks, too.
Steven, keep the line moving.
Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell. Dell PCs use Intel Pentium 4 processors.
It's everywhere!
Formula One lives on speed. No one gets you closer.
NASCAR, kart, Formula One, World Rally, American Le Mans, World Superbike. Live on speed. The all-new Speed Channel. Motorsports will never look the same.
Welcome back to Richmond, where the field has been brought down pit road. And when the last car comes to a halt, the red flag will be displayed. We're going to stop this race for rain. Hopefully this will be a short shower, as we thought it was all moving to the northeast, and it was. And now it's all moving to the southeast, and hopefully it will move on out of here. And we can continue this race. They have finally stuck a fork in this. We're done for tonight. We're going to go racing tomorrow and pick up where we left off.
Well, I think we'll be glad. I think we can. I'm glad as we can be under the circumstances. I don't think we'd ever get the thing dry again tonight. And tomorrow it's going to be sunny. It's going to be a beautiful day, about 70 degrees. I think the guys will be happy. I think we'll get a great show.
Now, Richmond, like many communities, have what in the East are called blue laws, and you can't fire engines or make any of that kind of noise before 12 noon.
Yeah, I think that's the deal. I think probably will start the race around noon tomorrow, is what I've been hearing. So I don't know if that's official, but that's what I've been hearing.
For some, only the toughest, hardest working ATV will do.
Buy a new Arctic Cat ATV and get no down payment, no interest, and no payments for 7 months, plus $300 in accessories. Or you can choose $500 in accessories.
I'm Tony Stewart. No one gets you closer.
A car is stolen about every 20 seconds. Don't be a victim.
911, what's your emergency?
My car was just stolen. I can't believe it's gone. I had everything in my car. Please help me.
Sorry, ma'am, there's not a lot the police can do. You should have used an auto lock.
Presenting the unbreakable Autolock Pro system. It's like a deadbolt for your car and truck. Use Autolock and your car is virtually impossible to steal. Just slip it over the brake or clutch and pull up the handle. It's that easy. Autolock features a solid steel deadbolt lock that is virtually drill-proof, Freon-proof, pink-proof, and amazingly bulletproof. Autolock is rated #1 by Good Housekeeping and is being hailed as probably the most effective, affordable anti-theft device ever created. Autolock is backed by $2,000 worth of protection. Autolock works, guaranteed. Buy the #1 rated Autolock at these select retailers.
Richmond's always been real good. It's a short track, so there's a lot of heartache that's involved with Richmond, you know, as far as wrecks and everything. But all in all, it's a real good track. It's really fun to race. You know, you normally have 2 grooves. All in all, it's a pretty fun track to go to.
66 laps complete. 4 drivers who did not pit out front. Dale Jarrett, Michael Waltrip, Bobby Hamilton, and Frank Kimmel, and the rest of the field who made pit stops under the caution for rain. That has brought us to lap 66, and 14 hours later, we're set to go racing.
We elected to stay out. Myself, Dale Jarrett, and Michael Waltrip, we started the race on old tires, was able to lead quite a bit of it, you know. And so that's what I say, you know, the tires stay real consistent, the racetrack did. Pretty easy weekend.
Boy, Spencer drove that thing down in there and it washed up. Ward Burton's going to get the position away. You can definitely overdrive the entrance to these corners.
Now, if you wasn't racing, you'd go out and you'd run a few slow laps, you know, get up to speed. But here, you got to go right down. There goes Mikey right by the 88.
And I tell you, Jimmy Spencer in the 41, he's almost made 2 positions in that second group through 1 and 2 there. Let's see what he does down there in 3 and 4.
DJ is not very good right now, and that's going to hold him up, and that's really going to cost him. Ward Burton wants to make it 3 wide going down into turn 1, and please don't do that.
3 wide will work down the front straightaway. It will not work getting into turn 1.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, it's just like you flip a switch and it's right back where we were last night, just in 1 lap.
Everything but the light switch.
That's it.
And I believe definitely Jimmy Spencer's car will work right there in the second group, but DJ in the 88 car, UPS car, is holding him up. They're going to be 3 wide here with Ward Burton getting into turn 1. You got to give, boy.
And DJ did. And Ward scoots through underneath Spencer and starts marching back to the front where he spent the first 60 laps last night.
Well, you know, Friday night, Spencer had a great Busch car here. And, whoa,
Jeff Green gets in the back of the 2 car, Rusty Wallace.
If you're not going to go, get out of the way. This ain't no time to be holding anybody up.
Well, Jeff had to go or Ward Burton was going to get him.
And, you know, let's go back to the Busch race Friday night. Jimmy Spencer, one of those guys that won that race, he was probably the only Busch car that could go in that second groove.
Actually, he had a Busch car that could run in any groove, and it looks like he's got a good car today.
Yeah, that James Finch car could have run around the parking lot and won that race Friday night.
And the thing about those guys now, they did all their practicing in the daylight, in the sunlight. The Busch guys did. So this is probably working really good for Spence.
Now they have Rusty Wallace in the 2 car. They have him kicked up to the high side. Jeff Gordon in the 24. Jeff Burton in the 99. They're going to take the position away from him.
Jeff Green for second. Another driver ran the Busch race, Darrell, and practiced his Busch car in the daytime. And Green moves up to second. Ward Burton now third. Michael Waltrip, Jimmy Spencer, Sterling Marlin.
I worried all night about it. It drove me nuts trying to figure out what to do to the car. But, you know, then I started thinking about it. And my car in practice on Friday during the day drove almost identical to the way it did on Saturday night. So I thought about that, and I said, well, you know, that was night, day to night. What's the difference between night to day? So we didn't make any changes for the day, and then we took off pretty good. We got by all the guys except for Spencer that were on 2 tires or on no tires. And I think we got to 4th, and then I started getting a little bit tight. So to me, the track was tighter during the day than it was at night.
Darrell, about 10 laps, and Ward Burton's going to be leading this race again.
Well, he was bad to the bone last night, and he's back after it again today, and he's got tires. He's set to go. He's looking good for the long haul. He just needs to be patient.
It's a battle right here for 7th. Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon. Ricky Rudd's going to follow Jeff Burton through as well. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car, he's wanting to follow him through. We got a battle for the leads up here, guys. Jeff Green in that 30 car, pulling Ward Burton in the 22 by Bobby Hamilton in the 55.
Remember, Hamilton did not stop for tires under the caution. Green and Burton did.
Good laps right there. You're about a 3rd place car.
Boy, Michael's got a problem. I think he's got a tire down. He just dropped off the pace down the back. Right rear tire.
Looks like I got a flat tire.
Heard him tell him he thought he had a flat tire.
Another of the 4 cars that did.
Yeah, he looks like he's got a right rear flat.
Oh, man, and he can't get out, and it's going to cause a heck. People going everywhere back there.
Boy, they are bottlenecking up behind him and getting into turn 3. He's going to make it to pit road.
Yeah, Elliott, oh boy, that's his Nerf bar out from under his rear bumper. It's a little small piece of tubing, but that could come off and be dangerous.
It's what support that goes behind the rear bumper.
It actually goes up in behind the rear bumper.
I'll show you again here, Michael Waltrip trying to control a car with a flat tire.
Well, he goes down into turn 1 there. I saw him, and he gets all of a sudden, he goes loose on him, and he chases it up the hill. Right there, I think he figures he just got up out of the groove, but he had a flat right rear tire.
And everything jams up behind him.
Big time.
And Bill Elliott's going to have to come to pit road.
Yeah, as bad as I hate to say it, they need to get that car in, because that piece of metal I think it probably flew off.
Caution is on the speedway. The debris is probably, you can see it. We know what the debris is. But that's quite a break for Bill Elliott, especially with nobody getting into it, because now he can pit under caution, or he probably won't even have to pit.
I don't know why they bring him in now.
Well, what a bad break for Michael Waltrip, because he's actually going to go 2 laps down.
Here's a look at it.
There's a look at it, and everybody's looking at it. Several cars run over it. It's not very big, Larry. What is that, about a 3/4 inch piece of pipe that they put up in the rear bumper?
It's just something to give the rear bumper a little bit of support as somebody's beating and banging on it. Of course, the rear bumper is made out of a fiberglass or a hard plastic.
There it is. Bam.
See the 44 car ran over. Look at there, right over the windshield of the 31 car, Robbie Gordon. Remember, these are plastic Lexan windshields, so you don't have to worry about it cracking the windshield. I don't know who's going to pit here. I would have to believe Dale Jarrett might come to pit road. He restarted this race leading, and he fell back to 20th. He's on pit road along with Jeremy Mayfield, Steve Park, Mike Skinner, Jerry Nadeau, Bill Elliott, Steve Grissom. A lot of the cars at the back of the pack coming to pit road.
Yeah, Kenny Schrader, Elliott Sadler, Robbie Gordon's in, Ricky Craven, Kyle Petty, Joe Nemechek, Stacy Compton, and Hermie Sadler. Dick?
Well, Dale Jarrett's going to take 4 tires on, throw 2 cans of gas in the thing. A minor chassis adjustment to the automobile. Car is much better now than it had been at the start of the race last night, which seems like an eternity ago.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of people that were here last night that don't know that we didn't race last night. I think it's just a long race.
The 24 Hours of Richmond continues on FX after this.
Good day, sir. May I see your license and registration, please? Sir, do you know how fast you were going?
185. 190?
Sir, you were going 64 in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. I'm going to have to write you up for that.
Officer, are you sure I wasn't doing 190?
Never yield to convention. Cadillac CTS. Breakthrough.
Wouldn't it be great if you could go beyond the movie? Welcome to Spider-Man, the game. Battle more vicious villains. Master more spider skills. And combat evil high above the city streets.
Can you hang with that?
Spider-Man, the game. Rated E for everyone.
I know a great shortcut up ahead. All I have to do is turn left, and I'm home 15 minutes faster, all downhill. Yeah, I know a great shortcut. But I'm not going to take it.
New Dr. Scholl's Advantage Powerwalk insoles are the only insoles with a soft gel system and flexible matrix arch specifically designed for the way a walker strides.
Like I said, no shortcuts.
New Dr. Scholl's Advantage Powerwalk insoles.
Looks, feels, do better.
Check out Sunday's Winston Cup race from an insider's perspective on Winston Cup Wednesday. Enhanced coverage gets you inside the race teams from the track to the pits. And this week, Speed gives you Winston Cup Wednesday Viewer's Choice. Log on to speedtv.com and tell us which NASCAR race from this season you want to see again. The race with the most votes gets a replay from flag to flag on Speed. Winston Cup Wednesday Viewer's Choice. Next Wednesday night at 8, only on Speed Channel.
We've just restarted at lap 93. Ward Burton takes off from Jeff Green and the rest of his field. Matt Kenseth and Michael Waltrip were trying to get laps back from the leader without success. It's Jimmy Spencer now third with Sterling Marlin, his Ganassi Racing teammate, right behind him. Then Jeff Burton, Ricky Rudd, and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
We had 17 of our cars pit on that caution, mainly cars that were at the back of the field.
And I think Michael's a good indication of he took tires, and he's not as good as the guys that didn't take tires. So those tires don't come right in, and he's in trouble back there.
Got spring rubber down on the apron of the racetrack.
And then out of harm's way. Unless you came out of my car. Then it hurts something.
Now, Bill Elliott lost that bumper reinforcement, and you saw it bounce up off over Steve Grissom's car here and into Robbie Gordon's windshield.
Pow! Look at that. Wonder it didn't stick in there.
It actually did. It put a hole in it. Again, that's Lexington. What they did, they took a piece of clear tape. They call it helicopter tape. It's what you put maybe on the front of your motorhome or your truck or your car to protect the front end, and sealed that hole right up on that windshield.
That's the beauty part about having Lexan in as far as windshields go. If it had been a standard windshield like in a passenger car, it just shattered it.
Coming up on quarter distance, and as he did in the long green flag run last night, Ward Burton is doing a disappearing act.
I'm telling you, he's just checking out. I mean, that car just looks pretty good. I'm telling you, it looked awesome last night. He's picking up right where he left off, right, Matt?
You're exactly right, EW, and that was a major concern for his crew chief, Tommy Baldwin Jr., is how that car would run today. In the daytime, Tommy, that car looks like it's picked up right where it left off last night.
Yeah, we were really concerned about being back at, losing a little track position, but, car stuck on the bottom past all them guys. I think all it did was help Ward's confidence a little bit right now. I think we just got to start pulling the reins back a little bit, if anything. But real proud of the guys back at the shop, brand new race car, like we said last night, and everything so far so good.
Up until 1999, Ward Burton has never led a lap here at Richmond. Believe it or not, he's never scored a top 5 finish. If this car holds true, he could break that one this afternoon. To Steve Burns.
Matt, Steve Park restarted this race 24th, but he was one of the 17 drivers who pitted. They made a track bar adjustment, went up one turn, changed 4 tires, but they had a lug nut fall off one of the left wheels rather, cost him more positions off pit road, currently being shown 35th.
Now, that's something, Larry, that could happen. They glue those nuts up on those wheels. They could have done that last night. That glue gets too dry, too hard. When you hit that wheel up against those lug studs, they'll pop one of those nuts off. So might be a product of the things laying there all night.
Yeah, I mean, the glue they use is a weather strip adhesive. It's made by 3M. It's a yellow glue, and normally about 3 to 4 hours is what you want. You don't want that glue to become hard. You want it just to become tacky.
I don't know why I won't stick to the lug nut. It sticks to your fingers forever.
But yeah, the 2 best cars from last night right now are the 2 best cars today. Ward Burton in the 22, Jeff Green in the 30. That was by far the 2 best cars last night.
And I don't know, but my experience has been when my car's good, it's pretty hard to mess it up.
Fortunately, like I say, we tested there, so we kind of had an idea. We didn't test at night, but we kind of had an idea from sunshine to overcast, and then we had the notes on what happened when we went back and practiced during the dusk. Late afternoon hours. So we kind of went back and looked at some notes. You couldn't adjust on the car because NASCAR impounded the cars, but looking over the notes, we almost breathed a little bit of a sigh of relief and said, if everything goes historically the way it should go according to the notes and in years past, it should come to us a little bit.
All right, Darrell, who would you rather have behind you, your teammate or your brother?
Well, it'd be good if my teammate was my brother. I guess I don't know. I tell you, it's been my experience that guys don't pay much attention to who's in that car. They just, the next car you got to pass.
Well, Jimmy Spencer just overdrove turn 3, and way up the racetrack, Jeff Burton in the 99 pulled right up to his rear bumper, brought Sterling Marlin and Ricky Rudd with him. Jeff Hammond, what's going on down there at the Hollywood Hotel?
Well, I thought I'd let you guys know. I talked to Jeff Burton this morning. I was asking about his car and what he thought about the weather conditions. And he said, man, I'm telling you right now, I really think I've got a great race car. I said, well, can you run with your brother? He said, if I can work my way through traffic without knocking the front fenders off this car, I can outrun my brother. That's a pretty strong statement, as good as Ward looks here today.
Well, he's backing it up right now, Jeff, because he is all over the back of Spencer, and he's getting up off of 2 really good. Well, Michael's in trouble again, guys.
Brett Bodine got in the back of him, Darrell, and sent him up the hill at turn 2.
He's getting punted around all over the place.
And you see Kurt Busch in the midst of that pack. Kurt Busch had a little brush with the concrete here.
Whoa, he had a pretty good brush because the right side of that car is pancake.
And this is his backup car. He wrecked his primary car almost right out of the truck on Friday before qualifying.
Look at it. I tell you, this is pretty hard lick. Looked to me like just judging by the side of his car. Yeah, bounced off there pretty good.
And Darrell, what happened? You carried a lot of speed off turn 2, and it's almost like the racetrack turns too quick. It's like it should go on out a little bit, and you're just carrying so much momentum, you're just getting to the outside wall of that right side.
It's holding you, and then it just dumps you all at once, and the back end will hop out. And it doesn't do it every time. You'll be coming through there one time with the wheels turn left, wide open, the throttle feels good. Next time you come through there, wheels turn left, wide open, hit the fence. Tony Stewart here looks like he's just kind of riding along. Him and Bobby Labonte both. They don't look like they don't look all that good right now.
But remember, these 2 cars, Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart, they had to start at the rear of the field because of changing motors. Qualified up the front. Matt, what's going on with Tony Stewart?
Larry, Matt, Tony Stewart restarted from the 25th position today. He came here and tested. His car was extremely fast off the truck, but what Greg Zipadelli and the Home Depot crew did, they made their car react poorly so they would know how to adjust it back to where Tony liked it, the comfort zone, so to speak. Last night, his car was extremely tight in the center of the corner. 2 pit stops to try to adjust on that Pontiac. But the second stop, they never really got a good run to see how their last adjustment did to the race car. Tony reported today the car is much, much better today, currently riding in the 17th position.
Yeah, he's got some damage on the whole right side of that car, like he got into somebody. Right front fender shoved in. Probably, you can see the nose is being, I mean, he's got quite a bit of damage to the car. The nose, the right side.
And then we think that may have happened when Michael Walter was trying to get to pit road with that flat tire. I mean, there was a lot of cars stacked up behind him.
Did you see that, Mike?
Yeah, Jeff Gordon just put one on Junior going into turn number 3 and squirreled him up the racetrack. It did not change the position, however.
No, but it will, because Junior will say, now don't do that anymore, because I'll let you go if you quit doing that.
It's a battle for 8.
Meanwhile, Ricky Rudd has moved up to 5th.
Junior goes up the hill, and that's what you do. You kind of let a guy know you're there. You don't wreck him. You just let him know you're there. And then if he's smart, he'll move up the hill, and he might just give you a little nerve back to say, I didn't appreciate that.
Nothing outperforms new Mobil 1.
A man's got to take care of the things he loves, which makes Meguiar's Rich Leather Wipes a real friend. Nothing moisturizes deeper or conditions and protects leather better. Meguiar's wipes are plush and specially textured to get more nutrients to the leather, to leave it clean and rich.
Honey.
They'll make any leather look gorgeous, and that's good, because a man's got to take care of the things he loves. All of them. Meguiar's. Smart guys finish best.
Oh, big trouble.
World Rally lives lives on speed. No one gets you closer.
Dad, it's horrible outside. Can we go back inside?
Isn't it time you took back your backyard? Hi, I'm David Dodd with something amazing from Coleman, the outdoor experts that can make mosquitoes disappear. We've screened in an entire backyard and let loose 2,000 hungry female mosquitoes to see if the mosquito Deleto system really works. The inhibitor unit, with its patented scent, moves mosquitoes away from you and your family, and toward the propane-powered trap unit, which imitates the heat, the scent, and the CO2 signature of a warm-blooded animal to reel mosquitoes in and keep them there, breaking the reproduction chain. Over time, your property can become a virtual no-fly zone, and it keeps working all season long. No sprays, no lotions, no nasty chemicals. Order now or visit your local retailer. $249.99 includes everything you see here. 60-day money-back guarantee if you aren't delighted. Order now and take back your backyard.
In the past, it's been a good racetrack for us. Either we've run well or we've got wrecked, you know. And if your car's set up good, normally they have two grooves working, and you can either go to the bottom, or when your tires get wore a little bit, you can move up high. And this time, we didn't quite have that luxury.
Now, I know he's 4 seconds back, but in third place, Ricky Rudd was 14th when this race got the green flag to restart on lap 76. He's now worked his way up to 4th place, and Rudd is coming.
We also talked about Matt Kenseth. He's still 1 lap down. Remember, he has about 15 laps fresher tires than the leader, and that's what enabled him, I think, to drive by Ward to make one of those laps up.
We knew we were going to lose some laps, and but we wouldn't finish the race if we continued on the way we were. So we came down and we had a plan that we had worked out, and 4 guys worked on the exhaust pipe and 2 guys worked on the brake line, and we were able to get both of them fixed, and we lost 2 laps doing that. We almost lost the 3rd one, but we were able to beat the pace car off the road, and we had to start at the tail end of the longest line and started working our way.
And what will happen, these cars trying to stay on the lead lap, they will fight the leader, Ward Burton. But once Ward Burton has went by them and the second, third place car catches them, they won't wrestle them quite as hard. There's no reason to.
And between those two groups, Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer holds on to 3rd place. Let's go to his pit.
And Jimmy Spencer has been told by his crew chief, Doug Randolph, that he has the fastest car on the speedway. Lap after lap after lap, Spencer is cutting the quickest lap time. He has pitted, came in on lap 62, and took on just 2 tires. This quick, Mike Joy.
Thanks, Dick Spencer in 3rd. Behind him, Rudd, Burton, and then rookie Ryan Newman.
Got a pretty good race to the lead now. That traffic has slowed Burton up to where Jeff Green is right on his back bumper.
Ryan Newman, he is having a good run. He was one of the teams that tested up here, and he told me the other day, it was 95 degrees air temperature when they tested.
Might have been a good day to just go home.
Here's that battle for the front spot. Jeff Green having, I would say, the best evening and day, the best race of his Winston Cup career so far on the trail of Ward Burton.
Turn 4 here, and the car starts to push up. It opens the door down underneath you for somebody to come under you, and it really makes that's what makes this track fun to watch.
Now, this 55 car, Bobby Hamilton, he's on pit road. This is a scheduled pit stop. He was running in 12th, but he has not been to pit road since lap 24, so he ran over 100 laps. He was forced to come to pit road under green here.
Well, he'll be fine if we don't have any cautions. That'll all work out just fine for him. Eventually, you get out of sequence, he can end up in great shape, but everybody's got to pit under green for that to happen.
The leader's off turn 4 right now, 40 miles an hour down this pit road. He's probably going to go 2 laps down.
But stopping now, Hamilton's on a 2-stop race.
Yes. He could do it on 2 stops should we go green the rest of the way, which is doubtful, but never say never.
No, and this place can go green for long periods of time, particularly when they're just everybody's minding their manners, and we're pretty spread out right now.
And blend in off turn 2 and try to get in there. And he's going to be much faster than most of these cars. So that's one thing he's going to have to be cautious. He's going to be catching cars with those fresh tires at such a rapid rate.
For more on his stop, here's Dick.
Hamilton did not make a scheduled pit stop. The reason he had to come in and pit was he had a tire going down. Yeah, but he was close to having to come to pit road anyhow because he had not been on pit road since lap 24 of last night. But he still has a problem because even with fresh tires, he's up the top of the racetrack and they're just going by.
I watched Michael when he came in and put tires on. He did the same thing. It took him about 5 or 6 laps before he could ever finally get back up to speed. They got the air pressure so low in these tires that you just can hardly, it's like having 4 flat tires.
We are 1/3 distance in the Pontiac Excitement 400. Ward Burton's Dodge leading Jeff Green Chevy, Jimmy Spencer, Ricky Rudd, and Ryan Newman.
It's the rumble. It's the rivalry. It's the rush. It's NASCAR Winston Cup Series at Michigan International Speedway. The rumble, the rivalry, the rush. It's NASCAR Winston Cup on Father's Day weekend, Michigan International Speedway.
You and your shortcuts. I'm asking this guy. Hey, buddy!
Hey, look. Bubba.
Hey, Bubba. We're waiting. A real nice truck you got there. Hi, sir. Hey, how do we get back to the highway from here? Right. Thanks, Junior.
There's no better feeling than that of a job well done. And nothing helps you do the job better than America's #1 filter, Fram.
Ever dream you could fly? You can fly in a lot less time and for a lot less money than you thought.
Sure beats driving. You know it.
Try flying now for $49. 1-888-BE-A-PILOT.
Or check out beapilot.com.
Ever dream you could fly and make the miles disappear? You can fly in a lot less time and for a lot less money than you thought. Try it for $49. Call 1-888-BE-A-PILOT or check out
beapilot.com.
Chevy, the cars you can depend on, the cars that last.
Winston Cup Wednesday is brought to you by Impala. Drive it, love it. Chevy Impala. Chevy Impala will be there.
Well, right now is when there's a lot of chatter on that radio, Larry, because these cars are running enough laps now that the drivers have figured out what they need.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our leaders have been out there almost 85 laps on these tires, about all of the top 10 or 12. So, yeah, a lot of talk about what that car doing and thinking about those adjustments coming up here shortly.
And how many people you think are happy?
Ward Burton and Jeff Green.
About 5 of them, and that's it.
1 or 2.
35 cars still on the lead lap. The last of those, Robbie Gordon, and just ahead of him, Kyle Petty, and then Steve Park. Ward Burton has led all but 24 laps. 4th place, Ryan Newman, slipping under Jimmy Spencer for 4th.
And that's exactly what he did. He slipped up under him. They were tight off of 2 over there.
Now, Bobby Hamilton made that pit stop, but Dick, did that cure his ills?
Well, probably not, Mike Troy. They think they have a broken sway bar arm on that car. They're not really sure what it is. I just sent a note to Jimmy Elledge. It is so incredibly loud where they are. They are right at the exit to the corner. It is a very, very difficult place to hear. And he just wrote back, may have a broken sway bar arm.
Oh, we got trouble.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the front stretch.
Caution. Lap 146, Dale Earnhardt Jr. pounds the wall coming out of turn 4. And getting a lap back earlier, Matt Kenseth had passed the leader. He gets a lap back, and it's a save for Kyle Petty and Robbie Gordon, who were falling into the clutches of race leader Ward Burton.
He was right on him when that caution came out.
Oh, there's no question you get a break at a short track where you got more cautions to work with. You know, we go to a lot of the bigger tracks where you don't get a caution for a long time. Here, you were able to catch them every 30 laps, so our car was pretty good on a longer run, and we were able to get away and get the laps back.
Okay, Kyle, I can't see that side. Right side.
Oh, he just spins coming off that corner. I tell you, that is easy to do, Dick.
Now, Jimmy Spencer is in right now. He's going to make a 4-tire change on his car. He said he's neutral in most of the corner, but he's losing the nose coming out. So they're going to try to fix that by taking a half a pound of air out of each of the left side tires. Spencer gone. There's nobody in the pit behind him, so it's easy for him to pit.
Jeff Green getting 4 tires, just a slight air pressure adjustment on the 30 car, the only service for Jeff Green. To Matt.
Tommy Baldwin and company already getting the left side tires. Ward Burton's down and away, but he is not going to beat the 28 off pit road. No adjustments. He said the car was sliding the nose a little bit. I just don't think there's much we can do about it.
You heard Ward Burton hit the rev chip as he tried to power out of the pits and retain the lead. That burbling as the ignition shut off as he exceeded the maximum RPM. And there's repairs on Dale Jr.'s car.
Grab it around, go to the garage.
Oh boy, go to the garage.
Come around with it.
Yep.
He was picking the throttle up off turn 4.
What you get off the turn 4 and off the turn 2 here both is push loose.
Caution out for the 4th time in the Pontiac Excitement 400. 150 laps complete.
Dad, you gotta love racing. Son, you gotta love fishing. Nothing like a fishing rod. Nothing like a hot rod. Can't we agree on anything? How about my bug fletcher? Helps deflect bugs and stones. Keeps your truck looking new. That's true. And Dad, you know, Fit Visor lets you crack your window to keep you dry in the rain. And cool in the heat. See, we can't agree. Now, boy, this is looking good. I think this looks a lot better. Auto Vent Shave products. Here for the adventure called life.
The battles are waged on super speedways and short ovals, road courses, and street circuits. Speed Channel's debut season proudly features all the action of karts. Speed Channel will bring you the side-by-side racing that has brought this series international acclaim. This is where you'll see Michael Andretti, Kenny Breck, and Jimmy Vasser. The Kart FedEx Championship Series, Speed Channel, and Kart. No one gets you closer.
What's up? Alarm. Come on, what's going on? The keypad. I'll check the keypad. It's the back door. Get by the phone.
Hello?
This is Jim from Brinks Home Security.
Is everything all right? I don't know. The alarm just started going off.
I'll notify your police department.
Thank you so much.
Brinks Home Security protected this family, and they can protect yours, too. The Brinks Award-winning state-of-the-art monitoring center can signal theft, fire, or medical emergencies 24 hours a day. Brinks Home Security starts with a free personal security analysis that allows us to custom-tailor the system for your home. Call now and we'll install a Brinks Home Security system for just $99, including a security keypad that provides a quick link to our monitoring center. As a special offer, we'll install a second keypad free. That's a $125 value. You also get the security of the Brinks name.
Thank you, officer.
Come on, honey. Everything's okay.
Brinks Home Security, dedicated to fast response and peace of mind 24 hours a day. Call now.
That's probably one of the best racetracks we go to. I heard some of the guys complaining about the sealer and things like that, but I think when we go back the second time and it works its way on up, then it's going to be as good as it ever was.
Under caution for Dale Earnhardt Jr., who spun coming off turn 4, hit the wall near the start-finish line, and has taken his car to the garage. Another look. What you call push loose. Boy, that'll hurt the rear end, Dick Berger.
Time Junior was here, he finished 10th. The second time he was here, he won the race. Today, it's in the garage on jack stands. What happened?
I just lost the race car. Track's tearing up a little bit, and I've been pushing all day. I don't know why it got loose, but let's go.
What are the biggest problems they're going to have to fix to get you back out, Junior?
I don't know, move the rear end back over. Looks like knocked the rear end over.
Now, I can't run with it like that. They've got the rear tire off the car now. Mechanics underneath it going to try to get it back out. Mike?
He came in here 9th in the Winston Cup point standings.
All right, I think that where all the liquid comes from, that's not rear end grease that's on the ground. It's out of the oil tank. They have to replace the oil tank. The oil tank is right by the left rear trailing arm. And what happened when he hit that wall, that trailing arm went over there and busted the oil tank where the oil for the car
You
is.
see the oil tank right in there.
So they're going to have to change the oil tank.
That's the trailing arm, and it went up and hit that oil tank.
And the rest of that oil, Darrell, is all the way around the racetrack. They had to put Speedy Dry down from the exit of turn 4 all the way around. See, when he hit Jeff Hammond.
Mike, one of the things you're talking about is the oil tank on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car. It's located right here on the left rear. This is the trailing arm. So when the rear end housing went over and came up, it probably has punched a hole somewhere or knocked one of these fittings loose on the oil tank, and that is where the oil's coming from right now. That could be a big problem as far as trying to get that car fixed. One of the other things we had happen here today with Bobby Hamilton's car, lost the sway bar arm. Let me show you where it is and what it does. Here's the sway bar arm that connects to the sway bar. The sway bar itself helps maintain the car's attitude in the corner. A lot of times Darrell and Larry talks about big sway bars. Keep that left front pinned down to the ground to make the car rotate through the corner, make that turn to the center better, and keep the nose down on the exit. When you lose that bad boy right there, she flops around really bad, real hard to handle through the corner, isn't it, Darrell?
Oh, yeah, and of course, I just can't imagine that it came off, but I guess it did.
Well, and we heard Dick Bergman talk about he had a flat tire. These tires don't have interliners in them. If he had a flat left front or right front, it rubs the sway bar arm off before you can get back to pit road and get 4 fresh tires on. Makes a ill driving race car.
A legend reborn. Cadillac CTS. Breakthrough.
Ever wonder what DuPont makes? Well, here's one thing. DuPont's Tyvek home wrap. You won't find it wrapped around the hood of my race car, but you will find it wrapped around houses across America. DuPont scientists developed Tyvek as a protective wrap to help keep damaging water out of your walls, which helps prevent mold and mildew. Ask your builder or remodeler to protect your house with Tyvek home wrap, a miracle of science from DuPont. Hope I can figure out how to get this back on.
I know a great shortcut up ahead. All I have to do is turn left, and I'm home 15 minutes faster, all downhill. Yeah, I know a great shortcut, but I'm not going to take it.
New Dr. Scholl's Advantage Powerwalk insoles are the only insoles with a soft gel system and flexible matrix arch specifically designed for the way a walker strides.
Like I said, no shortcuts.
New Dr. Scholl's Advantage Powerwalk insoles.
Look, feel, do better.
You can store all this at Public Storage and pay just $1 for the first month's rent. You can store all this at Public Storage and still pay just $1 for the first month's rent. You can even store all this at Public Storage and still pay just $1 for the first month's rent. Call 1-800-44-STORE now. Offer ends soon.
Speed Channel presents the most comprehensive motorsports news show on television, Speed News.
Our mission, keep you up to date with more information from around the world of motorsports.
Speed News on Speed Channel. No one gets you closer.
One lap and we'll go back to racing. The 55 of Bobby Hamilton goes to the tail end of the line for pitting too soon.
I tell you, a kid having a great run. Casey Atwood in that 7 car, he's up to 10th, started 29th. New crew chief this week, Tony Furr, moved over from the 25 car, Jerry Nadeau. I think that's going to make a difference in this race car.
I believe it is, too. He's pretty good crew chief.
By demand from the stands, folks, we're going to crank it up on this restart for you. Let it rip.
probably 150 laps or so into the race. Turn 3 and 4 started rubber building up on the track, or the sealer coming up. It was kind of like we lost what we had there in the middle of 3 and 4, and when it got like that, we talked about it, and there's not much adjustment we can do to correct that, so we just found another line through there and was able to gain some positions.
Considered by many to be the pre-race favorite, Ricky Rudd, first out of the pits, is now trying to take off from this field. He led 26 laps at Rockingham, 29 laps at Texas, and here on his home track, running out front.
One of the things that we always have to watch, and it still holds true here, when a fast car like Ward Burton's gets back in traffic, seems like they don't work as good, and all of a sudden the captain gets out front, clean air. I don't care, we're only on a 3/4 mile track, but we're doing 140 mile an hour. Clean air makes a difference.
Right now, he's trapped behind Matt Kenseth that's still one lap down. He has a good race car, just trying to get back up there and hopefully catch a caution and get back on the lead lap after all those problems before we restarted this race today.
A lot of determination on his part. You know, it'd been easy to throw your hands up and say, man, we're 3 laps down here, 2, whatever it was from the get-go. But he's driving the wheels off of it, trying to get back in the race.
Well, you look at Jimmy Spencer in the 41 car. That's his Martinsville car. When we were at Martinsville about a month ago, he was 3 laps down, made 2 of those 3 laps up. A little easier to do sometimes on a short track.
Well, and the other thing, Larry, is when you're a lap down, you go all the way to the front of the line. It's like starting on the pole. So that helps you get those laps back. But then when you get them back, you got to restart in 40th place, and that makes a big difference.
Big knot here, including our point leader, Sterling Marlin, and Dale Jarrett, the 88, who led earlier.
Yeah, that 02 car, Hermie, is kind of holding these cats up, and
ooh, 3 wide.
He is in harm's way, I got to tell you. And that's harm in that 48 car.
Is he going to try it again, 3 wide in the back? No. Wisely.
Boy, Dale Jarrett in the 88 car, he drove that thing in there. And it gets into John Andretti, and he hit the outside wall.
And here goes
Bobby Labonte.
And Hut Strickland misses it.
Gets 5. Wow.
That all started because Jarrett, here comes the 17 car, going to get a lap back, but that all started because
he's not going to get it back. No, Ricky Rudd's the leader. 28's the leader.
Yeah, Rudd was just way out front of him.
But that all started because Dale Jarrett overdrove the entrance in turn 3, trying to get back into the groove. He got into John Andretti, and Bobby Labonte in the 18 had nowhere to go.
Yep. There's just no, coming off of turn 4 here, there's just not enough grip up high. You get out of that preferred line.
Jarrett's moving around in his car okay, but it is stucky in the mud, literally, from last night's rains. Bobby Labonte going to have a little extra rear spoiler there to work with.
See what the replay shows us. Basically what happens, see Dale Jarrett way up high here. Now he picks up a lot of stuff on his tires. He's trying to get down. Bobby Labonte, he spins around because he sees Dale coming down the racetrack. Hut Strickland sneaking by there.
And John Andretti became the bank shot as Jarrett came back down the racetrack.
See, he picks up all kind of debris on his tires.
Tony Stewart in the 20 just gets by.
And I'm not sure if maybe Bobby Labonte got booted by somebody behind him who couldn't check up in time.
Right, Bobby checked up. Whoever was maybe behind him.
Yeah,
it looked like Nemechek in the 10 car, subbing for Johnny Benson. Chain reaction once again.
On board from Kenny Schrader, front bumper King.
1963 was the dawn of the golden age of performance when Mercury introduced its first muscle car, the Marauder. With up to 427 cubic inches of power, the street Marauders flexed their muscles on the boulevards, while drivers like Parnelli Jones were winning stock car championships in the Pikes Peak Hill Climb in specially prepared Marauders. The Marauder heritage is reborn in the new 2003 Mercury Marauder and Speed Channel's exclusive special, Mercury at Speed, the Legend of Marauder.
Today we are asking ourselves a lot of questions. Esteban, the lights. Mr. Foley. Questions like, where will I go from here? What do I need to get there? Will I have help along the way? As we stand on the threshold of a bright future, there are answers, and the folks at Dell have them. They'll help you figure out exactly the PC that's right for you, all at a price no scholar can debate. So I say to you today, carpe dimension, seize the Dell.
Call or go online now and get a Dimension desktop for just $6.99, featuring an Intel Pentium 4 processor that delivers awesome performance for today's digital media, music, photos, gaming, and beyond. And for a limited time, you'll pay nothing for 90 days. There's great deals on notebooks, too.
Steven, keep the line moving.
Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell. Dell PCs use Intel Pentium 4 processors.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? Now, through Matrix Direct, a 35-year-old man could get $250,000 coverage for less than $15 a month. Guaranteed for 10 years from a respected insurer, Protective Life. A 42-year-old man could get $200,000 coverage for less than $18 a month. Call for a fast, free quote over the phone. Matrix Direct, 1-800-390-3016.
Formula One lives on speed. The cars, works of art and marvels of engineering. The drivers, superstars, and rocket men. Formula One, the Austrian Grand Prix, Sunday, 7:30 a.m., only on Speed.
It doesn't never seem like the second groove opened up. You know, it's kind of like, you know, everybody kind of run on the bottom and you could pass if you could, but it's pretty tough. I think it made a lot of the wrecks happen, you know, just to be honest with you, and, you know, just because you couldn't really race, you know, you'd move up and down, and everybody got hung on the outside and kind of went to the back. So, you know, I think it's definitely been better in the past there, but I'm not going to complain about it. We had the best run we've had there.
And we're back under green at lap 178.
Just for the people that wasn't tuned in Friday night or last night, the reason Joe Nemechek is in the 10 car, Johnny Benson, who normally drives that car, was in a wreck in the Busch race and broke a rib, so Joe Nemechek started this car last night.
And I have to defend Joe, because when you're back in the pack like he was and something starts to unfold in front of you, somebody's going to check up a little quicker than you do because it hadn't gotten to you yet. That's what happened to him.
Ricky Rudd out front of Ward Burton, Jimmy Spencer, Jeff Green, and Ryan Newman. Here's Steve Burns.
Mike, Ryan Newman's trying to get out of a slump. 3 of the last 4 races, he's finished 40th or worse. But here today, the car is tight at the beginning of the run. Then it starts to loosen up a little bit. They raise the track bar 1 round on their last stop. To Matt Yoakum.
Steve, on Tony Stewart's last run before his last pit stop, the first 2/3 the car was running very well. In the last third, the car went back to tight, just like it was last night. They made a wedge adjustment, but the big hindrance for Stewart was actually when he tried to make his exit from pit road. He was blocked in by Dale Earnhardt Jr. He lost a lot of time, which equated to 5 spots on the racetrack. He's trying to move back up, and so is Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, Rusty and Jeff Gordon are kind of going at it hot and heavy there. Jeff cut Rusty off over there on coming off of 2, and Rusty drove it down into 3, got under him, and he's going to make the pass.
And they have Bobby Hamilton, the 55 car, 2 laps down. He's in the mix. Looks like he's going to take the position away from Rusty, trying to get back up to the front where maybe he can make those laps up.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about a sway bar, and I just couldn't imagine a sway bar was off that car, because I was watching it, and it was still sitting real flat going around the track. It would have been rare enough if it had a bar loose.
Whatever was wrong with Hamilton's car, and they still aren't sure what it was, it appears they've got it fixed.
We didn't have to make no adjustments to the car at all. We hit debris with the first tire. We hit debris with the second tire. The car drove good, so cautions or none, we never had to make an adjustment on the car all day long or all night long. It was on Saturday night, so we was in good shape.
On that last caution, since we'd only ran 7 laps, we had about 4 of our lead lap cars that pitted: Steve Park, Jerry Nadeau, Hutch Strickland, and Elliott Sadler.
Boy, Rusty and Jeff Gordon, I'm telling you, they're after each other.
Yeah, this is war right here.
Yeah, this is like, do you remember that one race here when the last restart?
This is a battle for 7th. You look right back there and see that 7 car of Casey Atwood. And something we do need to mention, Tony Furr, that we talked about taking over the crew chief position. He had to leave the racetrack. Our condolences to him and his wife. Tony's mother-in-law passed away, so he had to unexpectedly leave the racetrack here.
Remember last year here, guys? Come down and they had a restart, and Rusty gets under Gordon, sends him up the hill. After the race, he didn't really seem like he appreciated that much, and I think they've renewed that rivalry. And that's not you demand. That's not you demand. He's not asking for directions, I can tell you that. So today, same stage, different flag.
You go to the races, you watch them on TV. Still got the itch for more? Try fantasy racing at NASCAR.com. Just log on to America Online, enter keyword NASCAR, or visit NASCAR.com. That's where fans like you can scratch that itch. You build your team, you go racing, you take no prisoners. Fantasy racing at NASCAR.com. Where else you gonna get this stuff? The all-new NASCAR.com. America Online, keyword NASCAR.
I'm Tony Stewart, and you're watching Speed Channel, the home of NASCAR.
If you're going bald, here's good news. Rogaine, Propecia, and the latest advances in hair transplantation can restore your hair. But what's right for you? Now there's a free video that helps you decide. Call toll-free 1-888-900-HAIR for your free video from Medical Hair Restoration, the nation's leading medical group in the treatment of hair loss.
I didn't like being bald, basically. I didn't like my own appearance, and I liked my vision of myself was a guy with hair, and now I'm a guy with my own hair. And, I don't actually think about it anymore.
People that see me think it looks great and think it looks natural. And when I ski, I feel good, I look good, and I ski well because I have the confidence in myself. And I think hair transplantation gave me the confidence, and I feel comfortable when I'm on the water.
That's toll-free 1-888-900-HAIR. Get the video and your hair back.
Kurt Busch spinning down in turns 1 and 2.
That would be with assist.
Yes. Robbie Gordon right behind him.
This opens that door. I mean, you know, he's a little wide going into one, and that gives Robbie room to get down under him. And, you know, it's kind of a give and take thing.
Well, Rudd gets a good restart. Already pulled away about 5 car lengths, headed down the backstretch.
Ward Burton's got to go. On the last restart, he got kind of trapped there behind Matt Kenseth and never had a chance to close up on Rudd. So he's got to beat Kenseth here to have a chance at the leader.
He's going to clear him getting that into turn 1.
Let me tell you, the old cat is purring today, boys.
Dick Berggren.
Well, Jimmy Spencer's radio conversations have become very, very interesting. Asked how the car was, he said, it's real good, but I got to quit over-driving it. He also said that the groove is beginning to move up, and as it does, he thinks he's going to be able to have a better entry because he's going to be able to go into the turns a little bit more wide than he has now. Spencer, a real good car that's getting better as this race wears on.
You just got to be careful. When you make that wide entry, it feels good, but you don't want to let anybody slip in under you and not know they're there. This track's a big D. I mean, the back straightaway's a little short straightaway, and then the front is a great big loop and turn, and so it opens up the bottom going into one for a culprit.
And again, Rusty and Jeff Gordon's cars have a magnetic attraction for one another.
Yeah, and still got a long way to go.
We're just past halfway. It's a long way to Richmond.
You look right out in front of these guys, the 99 car, Jeff Burton. He'd been trying to make the second groove work. He finally gave up on it and just fell in behind Ryan Newman there, the 12 car. He ran it for about 2 or 3 laps and just wasn't going anywhere at all.
Looks like Rusty's going to prevail here on Gordon.
Well, I don't know. He's being mighty cautious, being mighty kind right now.
Johnny got hurt in the Busch race, and I was watching on TV at home. Phone rang not long after that, and said they called me back in a little while, and they called back and wanted me to come to Richmond.
And Steve Burns with a fellow who sure wishes he was out there today.
Yeah, Mike, Johnny Benson here and moving gingerly. Johnny, we're glad to see you. How are you feeling?
Sure, that's for sure. Hopefully you can hear me because I can't talk any louder than this. But
Well, it looks like he's doing a good job, but I like looking at the interior of this car a lot better than the exterior. Let's see what they can do. I think they got a pretty good car.
Benson, who either cracked or broke a rib in that crash Friday night, was kept overnight for observation at the area hospital, and so Nemeth is in the number 10. Meanwhile, Kevin Harvick's been busy.
Like Casey Atwood in the 7 maybe bobbled just a little bit. Harvick in that throttle just gets into the back of it.
That's that outside groove. I mean, it's almost, it's a half a groove. And you get the right side tires up there in that new sealer, and the car will just break loose with you. You got to be really, really cautious. You kind of play around with that. You get the right rear end and say, that feels like it's going to... No, it ain't there.
Harvick now 11th. Ricky Craven 12th. Tony Stewart just went by Harvick.
And you know, watching Ricky Craven in the 32 car, I believe this racetrack has come to his race car. I mean, he had been all the way to the back last night. I believe the track conditions today and temperature are suiting his race car much better.
The car looks better with the sun shining.
It's a battle for 13th. Craven's now in 12th.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has made repairs. He's back in the race and carrying about 80% speed.
24 right there if you want it.
Among the rookies, Ryan Newman is 5th, and last week's winner, Jimmy Johnson, running in 11th position, the Lowe's Chevy. Right behind Terry Labonte.
One of the things that Jimmy Johnson and Chad Canal seem to be real good at is to get that car better as the day goes on. So he's back there in 11th now, but wouldn't surprise me to see him improve as we get near the end of the show.
That's his teammate right there, Terry Labonte, in the 5 car. Terry's running in the 10th position. Had that good run about a month ago at Martinsville. Finishes 4th, and this is the same race car. Was brand new at Martinsville.
Yeah, Terry is quietly hanging around the top 10, and that's always a good sign for Terry Labonte.
He has 3 wins here, but he's still hunting that first top 5 finish of this season.
Right behind them comes Tony Stewart, who is closing and has climbed his way up to 12th place.
You can tell, Mike, a lot of these cars that were off a little bit at the beginning of the race are making the adjustments necessary, and they keep creeping a little further up. Back into the picture.
Our points leader, Sterling Marlin, has flirted with the top 5, but he presently finds himself back in 22nd place.
Now, he came on pit road on that last caution, so he's restarted way back.
And with only 12 laps on his tires, you have to believe he just was not very happy with the way his car is driving. I need to correct myself on Terry Labonte. He's still hunting his first top 5 because he actually finished 6th at Martinsville about a month ago. Well, meanwhile, that 28 car, he's done pulled out to a little over a 2-second lead. And Matt Kenseth has got back by Ward Burton, still trying to get that lap back.
And I don't know if they fixed the 55 car or fixed the 55 driver, but whatever it is, he's a lot better, and he's hanging around the front here and maybe try to get back on the lead lap. Oh, trouble down here, man.
Hard. Frank Kimmel in the wall.
Kimmel just took off like something happened to the right front.
Caution is out.
Yep, 7th time in this race, lap 215. The right front destroyed.
I think he must have cut a tire down, because that thing, I looked up and he was headed for the fence at a high rate of speed.
This is one of those borderline calls. The leaders have 29 laps on their tires. They may be coming to pit road, Darrell.
Let's see, we're 215 laps.
You could do it on one stop from here if you had to.
I think I'd come.
And I believe they are coming.
Here they come.
Giving up track position. Here come Rudd, Ward Burton, Spencer, Jeff Green, Ryan Newman.
Everybody on the lead lap.
Man. Oh, boy, Kimmel's car really took a hard lick. Took a shot up that hill.
Saw one like that here. Well, here's Stickford.
Well, Jimmy Spencer has slid into his pit area and aligned the car absolutely perfectly for his crew. 4 tires, Steve Burns.
4 tires for Jeff Green. He says he's tight from the center off, so they just made a wedge adjustment. Left side tires going on to Matt Yoakum.
The 28 of Ricky Rudd, the leader, is in. 4 tire change, no chassis adjustments. It's going to be a big race off pit road. The 41 is going to beat the 28. Ward Burton came in. His car was a little tight. He came in because of
Remember a race here on the old half-mile Fairground Speedway that preceded this three-quarter mile when Neil Bonnet was your teammate, Darrell, and he had one cut down in turn 2. It was guardrail then, not concrete, and he just shot into that guardrail like an arrow and stuck there. But the way he rocketed off that corner looked just like Frank Kimmel did a minute ago.
Yeah, the only thing that was left, the bumper, rear bumper, was sticking out of the guardrail because the rest of it went through.
For years, I changed my oil the hard way, tearing up my knuckles, burning my hands with hot oil. But that all changed the day I discovered Sure Drain from Fram. The second I replaced my old drain plug with the Sure Drain actuator valve, things got a whole lot easier. Now all I do is twist on the drain hose and let gravity do the rest. I'll never change my oil the hard way again.
The revolutionary Sure Drain from Fram.
Here at the Beef and Bird Cook-Off, does anyone cook on a gas grill?
You couldn't get anybody out here to cook with gas.
Between gas and charcoal, there is a difference. You can taste it. It's like night and day.
So what's the charcoal of choice?
Kingsford.
Why?
The flavor alone.
Kingsford is a charcoal to use.
Yeah?
It's a charcoal to use.
How come?
Taste. Definitely the taste. Nothing beats Kingsford. That is a fact. I guarantee it.
Kingsford, because taste is everything.
Give me Kingsford. You keep the gas.
No, thanks a lot.
Present from me to you.
Dad, you gotta love racing. Son, you gotta love fishing. Nothing like a fishing rod. Nothing like a hot rod. Can't we agree on anything? How about my bug fletcher? Helps deflect bugs and stones. Keeps your truck looking new. That's true. And Dad, you know, Pit Visor lets you crack your window to keep you dry in the rain. And cool in the heat. See, we can't agree. Now, boy, this is looking good. I think this looks a lot better. Auto Vent Shade product. Here for the adventure called life.
The choicest hops, rice, and barley malt give Budweiser a crisp, clean, refreshing taste that makes it the king of beers.
Check out Sunday's Winston Cup race from an insider's perspective on Winston Cup Wednesday. Enhanced coverage gets you inside the race teams from the track to the pits. And this week, Speed gives you Winston Cup Wednesday Viewer's Choice. Log on to speedtv.com and tell us which NASCAR race from this season you want to see again. The race with the most votes gets a replay from flag to flag on Speed. Winston Cup Wednesday Viewer's Choice. Next Wednesday night at 8, only on Speed Channel.
Was causing a lot of problems for everyone. I kind of enjoyed the sealer posing the problems that it did. I think a lot of my dirt racing background came into play, and I was able to change my lines and use the sealer to work for me. And it segments in the race when the track was really bad. I was 4 to 5 tenths faster than some of the leaders out there. I just changed my lines around.
Now there are several cars out ahead of race leader Dave Blaney. They are Matt Kenseth, Bobby Hamilton, and Brett Bodine trying to get a lap back from the leader. 77, the yellow car, right there. Dave Blaney's our leader.
Blaney's kind of liking this leading races. You know, it gets addictive. He was out front last week, had a shot at winning up there in California, and here he is today. Boys, looking pretty good.
Darrell, you said a couple of weeks ago he was having a little crisis of confidence.
Yeah, he was. I talked to him at Talladega, and he said, man, I don't know. You know, I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's a car.
Again, Mike, you mentioned it just a second ago when we came back from break. Jimmy Spencer, look at the pit stop on these guys. But this is what these guys are doing, 14.8. That's the reason it's deceiving. Yeah, he came in third, but he actually went out first. But look at his total time on pit road versus these others. I mean, everybody else, these three guys are close, but look at Spencer right there, and that's the difference. I'm telling you, when it's so hard to pass, you can win races on pit road with what you do right there, what your crew does for you.
Jimmy Spencer right now is second to Blaney. He's passed Kenny Schrader. Dick Berggren?
Well, Larry Mack was talking about how good Spencer's pit stop was. Let me tell you what, when he got to the end of pit road, realized where he was sequentially, he let out a war whoop, a big yahoo! And the crew is so pumped up that they are asking to have him pit often. They are just all fired up here in Spencer's pit. They think they got a shot to win the race. Rusty, with trouble, slowing down in the speedway.
Yeah, he goes along.
got a right rear down. Right rear tire flat. Kurt Busch got into the back of him, and fortunately there was no damage, just a bit of contact after that happened.
He slides right up in front of him because he got a right rear tire down, and he's lucky he didn't get turned around right there. He's trying to get the pit road, and here we go.
Casey Atwood gets into Jeff Burton, and 5 cars are going to pile up.
And Gary Nadeau. That's all because Rusty had nowhere to go. He just couldn't get down into the end of the pit lane. That 29 car's laid up against the fence hard.
Now, Matt gets it. He'll get his lap back. Bobby Hamilton in the 55. He's going to get one of his 2 back.
A bunch of guys are trying.
Spencer, he'll lead the race here at the caution flag.
Kevin Harvick, Stacy Compton, Jerry Nadeau are the victims of that pileup at turn 3.
And that was because Rusty could not get in. He was trying to get out of the way. He's got a flat right rear tire. Everybody bottlenecked up behind him and caused the crash.
And Ward Burton in the 22 car, he's in the garage area. He went straight to the garage area, but in the middle of 3 and 4, he didn't even come to pit road.
The pole sitter and the best car here for most of this race has parked it.
I see no damage.
Well, let's see what happened to bring out this 8th caution flag. Watch the 2 car of Wallace.
He's trying to get down into, trying to go. There's an opening right there. He thinks he can get down right there, but Jeff Burton didn't know. I don't think he knew that what was going on with Rusty. He was going to dive to the inside. Here comes the 7 car. They collided, and the rest is history.
And I tell you, see that 29 car up there? That's the one that's really tore up.
Yeah.
That was back up.
That was off turn 2. I was trying to tell.
He's got his arm out.
Yeah, I don't know what Jeff Burton was thinking about. He gets into him off of 2. Rusty's got his hand out. Maybe Jeff thought he was shaking his fist at him and was going to dive in under him there.
And Casey Atwood came flying in there on the low side. Right there.
Yeah, he had a run. He doesn't know what's going on. 4 car just squeezes through. This is down the front straightaway here, going down into turn 1. This is when Rusty first knows he's got a problem. Car takes off up the hill. Burton gets a run on him, and they bang together. Now, my thought is that Jeff Burton thinks Rusty's trying to block him maybe as they go down into this turn. He doesn't realize that Rusty has a flat tire.
From Kevin Harvick, who was swept up in all this, and he is okay. Back at his teammate, Robbie Gore.
Teammate, that messes the front of the car up. Gets a run down the back. Here comes the 99. The force starts into the outside wall, and that was a hard lick.
Kevin Harvick's okay. The guys I feel for, and it's because I worked there for 4 years, the fab shop at RCR. This is 3 weeks in a row. This car is wrecked at Talladega 2 weeks ago. 4 out of 5 cars was tore up for Richard Childress Racing.
Kevin Harvick's all right. Here's Matt.
Well, Mike, this is the right rear tire that came off Rusty Wallace's Ford. You can see an inch or so cut, and that's the reason. That's what cut down this tire, but you can see that the inner liner did keep that tire out. Mike?
230 laps. We're past halfway, but 170 to go. 6 cars involved. Jeff Burton, Casey Atwood, Stacy Compton, Jerry Nadeau, Mike Skinner, and Kevin Harvick. Now, after that happened, Ward Burton drove straight into the garage. Dick Berggren, why?
Well, he really doesn't want to talk to anybody right now, Mike, and I surely can understand that, but there is a trail of liquid that goes from the racetrack to directly underneath this automobile and a puddle of oil underneath the car. One mechanic looking underneath. Tough day for Ward Burton. He surely thought he was going to win the race today. Not be his day. Ward, what happened?
I broke the transmission.
There it is. Transmission on Ward Burton's car.
His brother Jeff fared a little better on that lap, involved in that crash. Casey Atwood in the side of him, and around he goes. 6 cars involved in this 8th caution flag at Richmond.
Sure, you like NASCAR, but have you got it bad? In slow traffic, you make sure to keep your tires warm. Do you take every opportunity to celebrate the name of your favorite driver? Come on. How bad have you got it?
Chevy, the cars you can depend on, the cars that last.
What's the Brady Bunch doing in the X-Files? Find out on the most bizarre episode ever.
I've never seen anything quite like it.
Leave, or it's too late. The X-Files, Fox Sunday.
Oh.
Dad, it's horrible outside. Can we go back inside?
Isn't it time you took back your backyard? Hi, I'm David Dodd with something amazing from Coleman, the outdoor experts that can make mosquitoes disappear. We've screened in an entire backyard and let loose 2,000 hungry female mosquitoes to see if the mosquito Deleto system really works. The inhibitor unit, with its patented scent, moves mosquitoes away from you and your family and toward the propane-powered trap unit, which imitates the heat, the scent, and the CO2 signature of a warm-blooded animal to reel mosquitoes in and keep them there, breaking the reproduction chain. Over time, your property can become a virtual no-fly zone, and it keeps working all season long. No sprays, no lotions, no nasty chemicals. Order now or visit your local retailer. $249.99 includes everything you see here. 60-day money-back guarantee if you aren't delighted. Order now and take back your backyard.
60 laps to go. You'll have 28 cars on the lead lap. Other than the cars involved in that wreck down in turn 3, the only lead lap car that pitted was Dave Blaney in the 77 car.
Well, Ricky Rudd's got to be careful here. He's in and amongst a group of lapped cars. Couldn't go around the outside. Now he's got to fight for the inside. And Kenny Schrader in third, right behind Rudd.
Restarts are always your worst nightmare, especially on a track with about 1 1/2 grooves.
Rudd gets under Michael Waltrip. A little bit of daylight ahead now.
Michael's really been struggling. His car's not been good today. And that really surprises me because he ran the Busch race, finished 4th, and I thought he would have had a pretty good little hot rod today, but just hadn't worked out for him.
Look at the car behind Ken Schrader, Mark Martin in that 6 car. He has quietly made his way after starting in the 18th position up to 4.
He's not that good, though, Larry. I've been watching him, just like you said, and he got up there. I'm not so sure he didn't take 2 tires to get up there.
Look at the telemetry on Kenny Schrader here, down about 5,800 down in turn 1 and 2. About 8,500 into 3 and 4. Into turn 3, about 300 less RPMs into 3 than into 1 because the front stretch is much longer than the back stretch. A lot more RPMs, a lot more miles per hour. You see the interval 2.5 seconds behind leader Jimmy Spencer.
Boy, that was a slick move. Did you see that? Yeah. Jeff Gordon just kind of moved Jeff Green aside right there.
Tony Stewart was about to move him aside off turn 2 as well and then backed off of him.
This pretty aggressive driving right here. Right up on him. Of course, Tony Stewart's right down there with him. He got him a little loose getting in there. Jeff cuts right down in front of Tony.
And Tony Stewart,
well, he saw what Jeff did. He said, that was a pretty cool move. Let me try it. Meanwhile, Jeff Green is getting his dandruff up.
Well, Jeff Green had a great car in the first half of this race.
Let me tell you, I think if he could catch Gordon back. Oh, there's a car around down there. Kyle Petty down in turn 2, guys. Just went around on him. I couldn't tell if he got him from the outside, looked like.
Lap 247, 9th yellow of this race.
Busch will not get his lap back. No. Look at Green. Look at Green and Tony Stewart and now Kyle. We're over on the back straightaway having a little conversation here, guys.
Kyle got away from turn 2 and stays on the lead lap. There's a bit of hand gesturing going on there.
Yeah. They're having it now. He's going to go up here and explain that. They say, look, he's got 2 problems, 24 and 20.
And he's right between the 2 of them.
Now watch this. Watch this. He said that he can't get his attention. He drove up beside him on the left. He couldn't get his attention, so he drove up beside him on the right.
Steve?
On 30, 24, 20 at now.
Jeff Green just told his crew chief, Todd Berry, said, you go over to the crew chief, Robbie Loomis, and ask him what Jeff Gordon's problem is. He nailed me twice at barriers up on the pit box talking to Robbie Loomis. Jeff Green does not like the contact that Jeff Gordon has made.
And then when you get done with that, run down that 20 car and ask Zippadelli what he's got a problem with.
Short tracks, short fuses, and a lot of bent sheet metal, sir.
Put a point to Jeff Green out of that 30 car. I don't think he was saying you the man.
No, he's made his point. And we still have 150 laps of this to go. Kyle Petty's made repairs and stayed on the lead lap after hitting the wall in turn 2. Steve?
And Mike, we just heard Jeff Gordon's response when Robbie Loomis relayed the message. Gordon's response was, if he wasn't letting off so soon, I wouldn't have hit him. He's letting off the throttle at the flag stand. It's Jeff Gordon's side of it.
It's just so competitive now. You know, everybody's running well, and everybody, to pass a guy, you have to get close to him. And the only way to get close is to be right there with him, running as hard as you can. And when he has to check up, you can hardly do anything but hit him. It's just the nature of the beast. You have to be close to pass. If you're not close, you can't pass, and the only way to get there is run hard.
Now, up until they sealed this racetrack, people were making great passes up on the outside like that.
You could even run higher than that.
You could go all the way up against the wall down there.
So damage to the Sprint Dodge in the back, but Kyle stays on the lead lap. He radioed in and told him driver error. From Rusty Wallace's car.
Right side tires up there where there's just no grip.
When she starts to get a little twitchy like that, there's no grip. Round she goes. Matt?
Well, Mike, Jimmy Johnson is slowly working his way to the front, currently 9th. And his crew chief, Chad Canals, on your last stop, probably one more stop. What are you going to do to adjust that car to make it another winning car?
I really couldn't hear you too well there, Matt. Right now, our car is just a little bit tight in the center. I'll tell you what, we have got a serious case of pit road disease. Every time we come on pit road, if we have a good pit stop, we get blocked in the pits. If it's a green flag stop, the caution comes out. If we can ever get this pit road problem we've got solved, I think we're going to be pretty good. But our car's really good today. We got one more chance to adjust on it. Jimmy's very happy with it. I think if we can get up front, get away from these lappers, and maybe have us a real good run. The Lowe's Chevrolet is just running great, and Jimmy's really up on the wheel today.
On the restart, it is Jimmy Spencer, Ricky Rudd, Kenny Schrader, Ryan Newman, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, Jeff Green, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson.
We get up on that outside. It's just got a tippy toe here. Bud would like to get out in front of that 11 car and does.
Still got Kurt Busch in the 97 to contend with. Kurt a lap down.
Kurt was pretty speedy, though, on that restart we just had and able to stay out in front of Rudd. Here we go. Chapter 2.
Battle for 6. Jeff Gordon and Jeff Green. Tony Stewart right there with them.
What Green is going to find is he is the rock between 2 hard places.
Now it looks like that bottom groove definitely propelling down.
Whoa,
1 and 2.
man,
Green and Stewart together.
They got together.
Stewart can't get underneath Mark Martin.
Oh, but he will.
Outside.
Behind Tony Stewart, got Jimmy Johnson. He wants to take advantage of that bottom groove moving in the 48 car.
Boy, it's hard to come up off the turn 2 underneath somebody and accelerate hard like Tony's doing. That tells you his car's handling pretty good. Tony's faster, but he's pinned down on the inside by Mark. If he could ever clear Mark, he could go on, I think. Meanwhile, up at the ranch, Mr. Spencer has pulled out to over a second lead in just about 4 laps.
And he and Ricky Rudd turning identical lap times.
Now, you just remember, this cat, Jimmy Spencer, won both Busch races here last year. He was leading, or was going to win the Busch race here this year, and had a mechanical failure, so he knows how to get the car right for this joint.
Spencer out front of Rudd by a full second.
Easy in, put laps on the board here.
Bobby Labonte has returned to the race, damage repaired, and now Dale Jarrett comes back on the racetrack.
Here's Jimmy Spencer's spotter telling him to ease it in. Where you beat people here and where you run fast lap times, it's not overdriving the entrance. It's beating them off the corner.
Man, it's crowded down there getting into turn 1. There's not enough room for 2 cars to get in there side by side, but they keep doing it.
And Jeff Green climbs the hill in turn 3.
That could be a flat tire from all that rubbing. He's been banging around and getting pushed around.
We talk about that a lot. You could knock a valve stem off.
And if you get up out of the groove, there's just enough trash up there that...
right there, left rear tire possibly could be.
Or that'd be a shame, because Green has really had a fast car today, and he's done well with it.
I don't believe, don't look like we have a flat tire.
What happened was he got up out of the groove, picked up some of that loose rubber and trash up out of the groove, and it took him a lap or 2 to get it cleaned off and get going again.
If you ever got pushed up out of the groove, which happened to me a couple times, man, you'd lose 6, 8, 10 spots, and it's so hard to get back. I mean, once you get down, then you can start going back to the front, but it was really tough not having 2 grooves to race at like we normally do.
And Joe Nemechek, you see, he has climbed to 10th. Now, Nemechek had to start this race last because of the driver change. He's subbing for Johnny Benson, who has an injured rib from Friday night's Busch race.
And he said, you know, I was sitting at home watching Happy Hour, and obviously Johnny had a good car. All I had to do is get in and get comfortable.
Mike Skinner, turn 2.
I don't think there's a caution, though, is there?
That's about the second or third car in turn 2 in the last 3 laps we've seen have a problem. Elliott Sadler just a couple of laps ago.
I think it's just a product of trying to arc it down in there, Larry, and there's just not any grip there. The car's twitch.
Turned down in John Andretti of the 43 car and got him up in the high stuff. Looks like Ward Burton, the 22 car, post sitter, he's going to be back on the racetrack after having the transmission problems.
36 laps down. In a car that coulda, woulda, shoulda won it. Jimmy Spencer's opened his lead now to 0.8 of a second.
We're trying to keep up with all the action, but it's hard to.
9 cautions so far, 136 laps to go in the Pontiac Excitement 400.
I know a great shortcut up ahead. All I have to do is turn left, and I'm home 15 minutes faster, all downhill. Yeah, I know a great shortcut, but I'm not going to take it.
New Dr. Scholl's Advantage Powerwalk insoles are the only insoles with a soft gel system and flexible matrix arch specifically designed for the way a walker strides.
Like I said, no shortcuts.
New Dr. Scholl's Advantage Powerwalk insoles.
Look, feel, do better.
Well, it's nice to see you all. It really is. Isn't it, honey?
Oh, yes. We must do this more often.
Uh-huh. Well, thanks for coming.
Where will you find the money to pay for long-term care? Conseco long-term care insurance protects you so you don't lose your nest egg. Conseco, step up.
You can store all this at Public Storage and pay just $1 for the first month's rent. You can store all this at Public Storage and still pay just $1 for the first month's rent. You can even store all this at Public Storage and still pay just $1 for the first month's rent. Call 1-800-44-STORE now. Offer ends soon.
Now you can access over 1 million unpublished airfares. 24 hours a day,
7 days a week. Cheap Tickets has airfares you can't find anywhere else, and they're up to 40% off. Cheap Tickets, the best-kept secret in travel for over 15 years.
Our car stayed the same from the time we started on Saturday night till the time we ended, and we made some air pressure adjustments and I think like a little bit of wedge here and there, but pretty much stayed the same for us. And Richmond changes a little bit, but not as much as like Charlotte or some other places.
Kenny Strader and Mark Martin battling now for 8th place.
Yeah, that's it. Get that rhythm back. Let's stay right there.
Look at the up and down day of Matt Kenseth.
He's battling Ricky Craven here now for 13th. And just remember, we restarted this race today at lap 66. He was sitting on pit road going 2 laps down before he even got the green flag.
And folks, this is why when a guy's up there racing that leader and you say, why does he keep doing that? This is why he keeps doing that. To get back on the lead lap, get back in the race, and he's going to salvage some pretty good day here.
We had a car that was fast enough to run with anybody. We just, we had to put him in a spot that we could get the laps back. So the first time when the leaders stayed out, we came in and got 4 tires and beat everybody off pit road and lined up with the leaders with fresh tires, and we were able to get that lap back. Then later, we tried to get the lap back, and we'd be behind the 28 car, but 28 was didn't give us any brakes, on the next 2 cautions. So then when they pitted, we stayed out, and would put us on the tail end of the lead lap, and we were able to get some cars in between us and the leaders that had 4 tires, and we were able to drive away, and we caught a caution and got the second lap back.
15th place, Jeff Burton, Joe Nemechek, Terry Labonte battling. For 275 laps, there's always been a battle somewhere on this racetrack.
We can find a battle. Right now, Rusty got his hands full with a 77. That's a battle.
'21st place was Wallace and Blaney. I think that's Dale Jarrett's wounded car behind, though there are several that look like that.
And I
that's
tell
not
you,
Jarrett.
Sterling Marlin just keeps kind of inching his way up through the field, too. Mike, he's sitting there in 7th place and racing Tony Stewart and pretty hard right now.
Yeah, after his pit stop, Darrell, he was 22nd, and now Sterling's up there fighting for 6th.
Got a pretty good car.
See Kyle Petty going a lap down after that spin a while ago, but he stayed on the lead lap, but here he's going to go a lap down.
A couple of lap cars, Compton, Newman, Earnhardt Jr. after a trip to the garage, and here's 3rd place Ryan Newman. He's 4.8 seconds off the lead.
He's got a bunch of distance between him and the 2nd place car and him and the 4th place car.
4th and 5th.
Right, clear, all clear.
Mentor protege, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, 4th and 5th.
It's neat to race against Jeff and battle him so hard for, inside the top 5 there late in the race. I'm just having a blast racing with a lot of these guys. I mean, these are drivers that I've grown up watching on television and respected and dreamed of racing against since I was a kid. And it's pretty cool to be out there racing with your heroes and putting passes on them and even having a shot to win it.
Now Sterling Marlin. There's Marlin in the picture. Silver Coors Light Dodge. And behind him, Mark Martin, the 8th place car.
Mark seems to be a little bit better, Larry, after they run a while.
Which that's not unusual. That happens with his style and his setup a lot.
Good day for Jeremy Mayfield as well. He's in 9th place, right on Martin's bumper.
That's a good run for Jeremy. He's just been kind of hanging out right there on the outside of the top 10. Now he's sitting there in 9th position.
First few laps, we weren't that good, until we got going, and just seemed like we were like that all day long. And I think they hurt us a little bit because of all the cautions and stuff, because every time we take off, it took me about 5 or 6, 7 laps to really get back up and going again. And at that point, after we run 10 or 12 laps, we started running real good, and I knew then we were gonna have a good day there.
Steve Grissom in this 44 car. He started back in the 29th position, and they came up here and tested. I talked to his brother-in-law / crew chief, said they had a good test here, and he's been right there on the verge of the top 10 all day long, stepping in this car just 3 races ago.
Meanwhile, Ricky Rudd has erased that 0.8 of a second deficit. He's caught Jimmy Spencer.
right now they're fixing to start to catch the tail end of the pack, which definitely makes a difference. As we talked about several times earlier, patience. That's where you really have to use it, working these lap cars. And cars that's trying to stay on the lead lap.
Early in the race, Spencer radioed his crew, said he was guilty of over-driving the car. The car was fine. Whoa. Now he's under pressure from Rudd.
Whoa. Right now, Ricky's so much better through the middle of the corner. Got underneath in turn 2. He's going to take the lead here going into lap 3.
You know what happened there?
15 laps to go.
He was looking back. He's looking back to see what was going on behind him, and I think he about lost it off of 2 over there.
Rudd led 67 laps earlier here. Kind of surprised to reread the record book that he'd only won twice here. He could have won a half dozen at this racetrack. Celebrates his birthday here in the race weekend in September, and he's from Chesapeake, so this has always been Ricky Rudd's home racetrack.
Nothing outperforms new Mobil 1. Formula One lives on speed. The cars, works of art and marvels of engineering. The drivers, superstars and rocket men. From Australia to Brazil, Canada to Malaysia.
Checkered flag is out.
Speed Channel takes you around the world with live coverage of Formula One. The beauty of man and machine. The thrill of open-wheel battle. Formula One, the Austrian Grand Prix. Sunday, 7:30 a.m. only on Speed.
You know, most men get pretty shook up about losing their hair. But today, many of them are learning about Bosley Medical. They use your own living hair to fill in the thin spots. Just look at that. It really works. You can treat it like real hair because it is real hair. Your own naturally growing hair. So you don't have to worry about it.
Bosley Medical is the world's most experienced hair restoration practice. For over 25 years, they have performed more than 130,000 procedures using the innovative micrografting techniques pioneered by founder Dr. L. Lee Bosley.
Each surgeon at Bosley Medical is board certified and individually trained by me.
So if you want to have your own naturally growing hair back, call this number for more information. We'll send you this free video and in-depth guidebook that gives you the real facts about hair restoration. There's no cost and absolutely no obligation. So do it for yourself. Call now and get the real results you've been looking for.
It's your real hair.
You can't do better than real.
Winston Cup Wednesday is brought to you by Mobil 1. Nothing outperforms Mobil 1.
Daryl, how about Ryan Newman? He has now come up to second place.
That car looks really, really good, and it seems like the longer they run, the better it gets. He's moving up through the field, challenging for second.
Steve Burns is in Newman's pit.
Mike with crew chief Matt Borland. Matt, what is Ryan saying about the car? Tell us about your strategy for the end of this race.
He's pretty happy right now. The car feels pretty good to him. We're just going to sit here one more time and probably take 4 tires and see how it goes at the end.
Newman's car is doing something really it's fun to drive when they'll do it. He is really getting back in the throttle in the middle of the corner. That's where he's really making a lot of time. Car's sticking to the bottom of the racetrack, and he is jumping back in that throttle. Jeff.
You know, Jeff Hammond, what we're looking at here, we're 100 laps to go. Most of the leaders, Ricky Rudd, Ryan Newman, Jimmy Spencer, all were on pit road at lap 216. That definitely makes it where they can do it on one stop. But one key could be when to make that stop. Pit early, get advantage of those 4 tires, but when you do that, you know what the downside is, the old caution flag. Yeah, you've really got to roll the dice right here. It puts a lot of pressure on the crew chief as well as the spotters to try to kind of like see what's going on with the rest of the race. You got a big pack. Hey, I want to stay out until they kind of split up and break up a little bit. If you're leading this race, you definitely would like to see a lot of guys pit before you do. So if the caution flag does come out, you get the advantage of putting these guys down a lap so you don't have to race them later on. All these things right now, hey, that's what them guys get paid the big bucks for, is to make that good decision right here at the end.
Hey, Jeff, and the other thing I'm telling you as a driver is don't bring me in the pit when somebody's in the pit box in front of me or behind me if it's going to be under green. Give me a clear shot at it.
Exactly. You need to also look all the way up and down pit road. You don't want to have to contend with anybody if you can have that happen. let you know far enough in advance so you can pick a hole, get down. This is one of those racetracks we've seen earlier. If you back off too soon, you could get turned just trying to get down on pit road. A lot of time's got to be given to let these guys know what's happening.
But this might be our last stop. We can't have any mistakes. We can't have any lug nuts fall off. Driver, you can't speed on pit road coming in or leaving. It'll end our day.
Don't beat yourself, guys. That's the main thing. Don't beat yourself.
Ryan Newman eating into Ricky Rudd's lead.
He's closing, buddy. I tell you, he's got a fast hot rod under him right now.
But right now, Ricky Rudd's in all kinds of traffic, plus a lot of cars trying to stay on the lead lap. John Andretti, Ken Schrader, Bill Elliott.
Yeah, there's some cars here now that are going to be difficult to pass.
And amazingly, despite 9 caution flags, there are still 40 cars on the racetrack. Only Jerry Nadeau, Frank Kimmel, and Randy Renfro have retired from the event. They're still trying to fix Kevin Harvick's car, but this track is still pretty chock full of race cars to navigate through.
Yeah, and a lot of them are torn up, like Dale Jarrett's and some of them, but... Boy, that's got to make you... That's got to be the car owner's nightmare, getting passed by the pupil.
There's a battle for fourth. Jimmy Johnson takes fourth from his part owner, Jeff Gordon.
Jimmy was in our Kung Fu opening at the top of the show, and, you know, Grasshopper or whatever, I don't know, I didn't ever watch that show.
But, you know, back to that strategy, Darrell, no matter what, these guys are within about 10 or 15 laps of having to come to pit road because they're going to be up there about 110 laps on tires and fuel.
Larry, have you ever felt like that maybe you and I spent way too much time in the garage area when we listened to Mike and Chris? What is all this? They've watched too many movies. All I know is about race cars.
All I've ever watched is the Weather Channel and FX and Fox.
I was going to get a good night's sleep last night, and I flip it through the channel.
Whoa,
what's on? Last American Hero.
Rusty just went up the hill here and got another... Something wrong with Rusty's car.
Yeah, and Ricky Rudd's right on him. He's going to have to go around the outside of him, put a lap down. He's got a problem. He's got another... Oh, Rudd, hard into the outside wall.
No.
Our leader.
Here comes the land rush back to the caution flag.
Something happened to the 2-car. He had a tire go down or something, but, you know, I think it happened to him coming off turn 4, and he went down the front straightaway, and, you know, I cleared him, drove around him on the outside, and he changed about 3 lanes of racetrack. I know he didn't do it on purpose, but, you know, he knew he had a flat tire, so he should have run it slow enough where he didn't change 3 lanes of racetrack and hit us in the quarter panel. It was over with.
It didn't look like there was any contact, although, you know, Rusty was there, slow going in the corner, but, well, we got to take a look at this.
But Ricky may have got up in that, in that sealer where there's no grip, and that may have been what happened as he was going around.
Every time we've seen a car get a little high down there in turn 1, this is what they get this kind of result.
Now watch the
There's
28.
Rusty. Ricky goes around. Oh, yeah, he rubbed him. He rubbed him. He sure did.
Oh, get to the bottom now. You're clear of the bottom. Clear of the bottom. Outside.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just brushed.
Inside and outside.
Just enough to get him out of shape.
Take it on. Go to the caution. Beat that car back to the caution. Inside and outside.
Jimmy Spencer has pitted. He said that the only problem with the car is he's beginning to lose the front end. So far, every pit stop has been fast, including that one for 4 tires and fuel.
A hard crash at the end of the pit wall. Robbie Gordon has run into the inertia barrier and come to rest at the end of the concrete wall.
And what all the water is, this is water barrels filled with water to keep from hitting the end of that pit wall.
Yeah, those are water barrels, and that's concrete.
The window net's down, so he is indicating to rescue workers he can get out. But that water barrel was designed by a great road racer, John Fitch, who raced for Cunningham at Le Mans. The Fitch inertia safety barrier is found on highway, bridge abutments all over the country, and it's also used to good effect, as it was right there here at Richmond.
We got cars everywhere, Rick. 28 on turn 1 and 2, 31 down here in 3 and 4. What a mess.
I know his car is tore up, but could you imagine hitting that wall right there without those water barrels there, or without that barrier?
Rusty's tire all torn up as he finally made it to pit road a lap later.
Yeah, what he's got to be worried about is if, you know, if it knocks the nose off of it, looks like he's going to make it around okay. And once again, Rusty Wallace had a had a left rear down, or right rear down over there, caused that big wreck. This time he's got a right front down, took the leader out.
And one big problem he could encounter, we talked about it earlier, thinking that's about what happened to Bobby Hamilton, is before he gets to his pit box and gets a tire on there, is rubbing that sway bar arm off.
Look way up at the top of the racetrack.
There you see Robbie Gordon.
Whoa.
You see all the water.
Yeah. It's, you know what happened? He was probably coming around there and they told him to pit, and he tried to turn down into the pit lane and was going too fast. Now from Kenny Schrader. Oh. That's the way that... If you turn on pit road late, if you turn on the pit road late, you're going to get a lot of debris on your tires. And this race is going to be red flag. They're going to stop the cars to clean up at turn 2 and at turn 4.
The 2002 Pepsi 400 weekend at Daytona will be better than ever with both Busch and Winston Cup races.
Join me in all of NASCAR's greatest for the best at night racing.
The NASCAR Busch Series is under the lights Friday, July 5th, and the Pepsi 400 is Saturday night, July 6th.
Come see Daytona at the speed of light. It's like nothing else.
The Busch Series Friday night, the Pepsi 400 Saturday night. For tickets, visit our website or call 386-253-RACE.
They could take away our land. No! They could even take away our home. No! But don't let them take your freedom!
The cost of freedom doesn't have to be so high. Kawasaki Vulcan motorcycles.
What happens in Washington has a major impact on the stocks that I follow.
Deficits are back. We have a wartime economy on our hands. It's very important to have some sense about how Washington will ultimately act on these issues. That's why you want to tap into Washington sources. Not a day goes by when I'm not on the phone with one of the Prudential analysts up in New York.
I'm able to make better investment research calls because of Prudential's team of experts in Washington.
When you marry Washington with Wall Street, it really adds value for investors.
Whenever you call me, whenever you want me, I'll be there. Whenever you need me, I'll be around.
Chevy, the cars you can depend on, the cars that last.
You never have to look too far.
Chevy, we'll be there.
Always with you.
Cars lives on speed. No one will get you closer.
We were off just a little bit, and therefore kind of realized there that we did not have a top 5 car, but still a lot of things going on. You know, there's some accidents and stuff like that you know, you never know. And we knew our car was driving good, and the guys were having awesome pit stops. So from that standpoint, it was just get out there and run as hard as we could and get as good a finish as we could.
84 laps to go. 23 cars on the lead lap.
A lot of cars pretty good on the short run, so he's really in good shape right now. His car really takes off good, and it's good for about 70 laps, so I think he's in good shape.
Johnson, that 48 car, though, he got a heck of a run off turn 2 that time.
And Larry, like Chad said, we don't know how good we are because we've been back in traffic all day. Now here we are up front. Maybe we got something for these guys. And we see that week in and week out. You get up front, get out front, and you can carry the mail. Car looks pretty good, 48 does. He's getting through the center of the corner a little bit better than Jimmy is right now.
He's able to carry that momentum off the corner because of it.
Backing off early. Now watch him. He gassed it right there. I like that. That's a great way to be able to drive, is to back off early, float it down in there, but then gas it.
John Andretti in the 43 car had hung out on the lead lap. He just came to pit road.
Ryan Newman, Jeff Gordon. This is a battle for third.
112, Larry, 112.
I tell you, that outside is, you can run out there, but you got to be so careful. You're going to lose positions. It kind of one step forward, 2 steps back.
For some reason, the tires, it seemed to stick to the track more because we had a lot of rubber buildup. But the high groove never came in like it normally does. Normally the high groove comes in and it's the place to go, but if you got up in the high groove, you went to the back.
Mark Martin and Tony Stewart coming into the picture. Spencer the leader, rookies second and third, veterans fighting behind them.
Jeremy Mayfield in the 19 car, Ricky Craven in the 32. That's a battle for 7th. And how about right behind him, Jeff Burton in the 99. Started back in 23rd. Remember, he was in the big wreck with Kevin Harvick and those guys about that many laps ago. Over in turn 3, here he is in the top 10.
There's a lot of cars back here. I'm telling you, I don't know if they got any fenders left on them.
Darrell, Jimmy Johnson chasing Jimmy Spencer for the lead. How much of this is the thrill of victory from last Sunday coming out in this kid right here?
They just can't do anything wrong. I mean, they're putting great equipment under him. They're making good calls in the pits. The rest of it's just kind of easy.
They have Big Mo on their side.
They do. I mean, they got it going their way.
See the telemetry right here on Jimmy Johnson.
I just think it's an indication of when you got good resources like Hendrick Motorsports does, and they give the guy equipment like that, he's going to get the job done for you.
9,000 RPMs into turn 1, 8,800 into turn 3.
Two rookies. As you said, second and third, Johnson and Newman.
Every week it's this way. You know, we end up at the end of the day with 2 or 3 rookies up there setting the pace, 3 or 4 veterans out there chasing them.
We've had a rookie finish in the top 10 in almost every race this year.
And they've won. Yes. I mean, you know, it's not like they're just hanging around. I mean, they win races.
Oh, turn 2. Sorry, Kyle Petty got caught up on the outside of Mike Skinner and Dave Blaney, and that was almost another one.
Well, that makes about 40 almost.
Only 40.
40.
Lost count.
That's the 40 that I can recall.
Right. Here's what happened. Yeah, right there.
Trying to run 3 wide up off turn 2. That don't work.
No.
3 wide or 3 wide? Oh, look, that little bump.
I believe it was, and I don't think that Mr. Spencer's going to appreciate that. Now, remember what the...
Whoa!
Oh, no, there he goes around.
Oh, he's going to hit the wall. Ryan Newman takes the lead. Caution is out.
Uh-oh, look out, Rusty. Look out, Rusty. Clear low. Come on, guys.
Jimmy's trying to get going to stay on the lead lap here, and that will hand the lead.
I don't believe he's got much to get going with. Swatted it up pretty good.
Hands the lead to the other rookie, Ryan Newman.
Spence was got a little shove off of 2 over there, and Spencer was holding him down real tight getting into 3. Here we go. He gets into him, and this is like Bristol. Remember what Kurt Busch did to Jimmy? Gets into him a little bit. Doesn't really upset the car much. Just a little touch.
His car really wasn't turning in the center very good. And I've been behind him 4 or 5 laps trying to set up a pass, and saw a small opening through 2, stuck my nose in there, and he came back down a little bit, and we touched, and I got up inside of him and was running down the backstretch side by side with him and drove off into 3, and he crowded me down to the bottom, which he should have done. I mean, you're racing hard for the win, and the car turned around on me. I don't know if I slid the rear tires, there's a bump going into 3, or if, I mean, I hate to blame it on aero, but the way it spun out so slow and gradual, it seemed like it took the air off my spoiler, but it's just really hard to imagine on a short track that would happen. But either way, you know, spun out, hit the fence, and took myself out of an opportunity to win. Kind of messed Spencer's day up a little bit, feel bad about that, but looked like he still rallied back and had a decent finish.
So Jimmy Johnson becomes the latest leader to crash out of this race.
Stuff off so we can try not to lose more laps.
No, you're going to have to get it off, Jimmy. All the stuff here.
For the most part, none of the leaders with only 11 laps on their tires. All the leaders elected to stay out with 21 cars on the lead lap.
Freedom V-twin engine and 25% more power. The 2002 Victory motorcycles challenge all other cruisers. Anytime, anywhere. Take the Freedom Challenge. See your Victory dealer for a test ride and get a free t-shirt.
When you've got more ground clearance, more suspension travel, and more durability, nothing gets in your way. Buy a new Arctic Cat ATV and get no down payment, no interest, and no payments for 7 months, plus $300 in accessories. Or you can choose $500 in accessories.
Now you can access over 1 million unpublished airfares. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Cheap Tickets has airfares you can't find anywhere else, and they're up to 40% off. Cheap Tickets, the best kept secret in travel for over 15 years.
I'm Tony Stewart. No one gets you closer.
The green flag is just waved, and another rookie takes his turn at the point, Ryan Newman.
Oh, yeah, we don't run out of rookies. We got plenty of them to throw at you.
He has some veterans lined up behind him. Jeff Ford, Mark Martin, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Spencer, and Jeff Burton, Jeremy Mayfield, all veterans behind him.
Yeah, Spencer fell to 5th, and Dick Bertrand.
Well, I was listening to Jimmy Spencer's radio when that incident occurred, and I listened to it all the way through. In fact, I just shut it off so I could talk to you. And Spencer was remarkably calm on the radio, surprisingly calm. When asked what happened, he said, well, he said, big crash on the racetrack.
Huge on the back.
Rusty Wallace,
Point leader.
Nobody get laughed back. All this started because the 11 car got and Jimmy Spencer got together. They cleared it, and then all this happened behind them. I was looking dead at it.
We got lucky. They thought we were caught up in it, and then I remember Rusty sliding in front of me. He and somebody else got into it, and there was smoke flying and cars wrecking all around me. And I was waiting any minute for somebody to hit me in the back and get us spinning right in the middle of it. But at one time, I had stuff going on all the way around me, and I just sat there and never really panicked or didn't lock the brakes up or turn the steering wheel. And all of a sudden, everybody cleared out of the way, and I took off. So we were in the middle of it, yet we didn't even get a scratch on the car.
Pickles, cornflakes, and Pennzoil. That's not a good combination.
No, they got mayonnaise in there too, so it's... You got cornflakes, motor oil, and mayonnaise.
Right here, Jimmy Spencer in the 41, Brett Bodine in 11. Right here, Jimmy had to check up because of Mark Martin in the 6. Brett Bodine gets into his left rear quarter panel. They checked up a little bit. Rusty spins, and then this is what happens.
Yeah, that broke Rusty's momentum.
I'd write down the cars involved, but there aren't many that weren't. That might be an easier task.
Looked like to me, Spencer got a little bit loose. The guys behind him had to check up, and I just didn't get slowed up in time. And I got into Rusty pretty hard and spun him around. Then all the other guys were just victims of my mistake. I hate when I cause a wreck. Rusty and I, we're pretty good friends. We get along great, and we've never had a problem before. And that was just a plain and simple accident. And I hate it because it took out a lot of people. It wasn't just the one guy I hit. It was a lot of people, and it was just one of those chain reaction short track wrecks that you have. And I didn't get slowed down enough to prevent it from happening.
John Andretti, Hut Strickland, Kenny Schrader.
Point leader on pit road. I don't think Sterling's car is hurt anywhere. Got a little damage to the rear, but not much. 55 got a lap back, and I want you to look at it now.
He lost his left rear tire.
He just got back on the lead lap.
There's his tire right there.
You must all break out of your humdrum existences. The atom becomes the flower, becomes the ox, becomes the man. We all must change. The world needs change. You, sir, you must change.
Chevy Avalanche, the only vehicle that changes from an SUV to a pickup.
There's also Motor Trend's 2002 Truck of the Year.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Chevy Avalanche, like a rock.
Next Wednesday on Speed is Winston Cup Wednesday Viewer's Choice. Log on to speedtv.com and tell us which NASCAR race from this season you want to see again. Winston Cup Wednesday Viewer's Choice. Next Wednesday night at 8, only on Speed.
It's time you expected more from an insurance company. So call Progressive Auto Insurance, and we can give you our low price, plus the rates for up to 3 leading competitors. And that could save you hundreds.
We want you to save money, even if it's not with us.
It's time you expected an easier way to buy car insurance. Because at our website, you can get a quote and buy a policy instantly. In fact, it's so fast and easy to use, we've been rated #1 4 times in a row. It's time you expected faster claim service. At Progressive, our immediate response vehicles can come right to you. They're like a claims office on wheels.
We make getting back on the road fast and easy.
Visit Progressive at the web address on your screen, or call us at this number today for fast, friendly service 24 hours a day. We want you to save money, even if it's not with us.
Okay, maybe we're not changing the world, but we are changing the way people buy car insurance.
You can start saving now. Call, click, or visit Progressive today. Progressive, not what you'd expect from an insurance company.
We was better on the long run than we was on the shorter run. We had made a couple adjustments to fix it, to try to loosen the car up. Running it actually Sunday helped loosen us up some more. It probably helped us running on Sunday only because we didn't have to adjust the car quite as much.
Ryan Newman's our leader as we get ready for the restart. Only 3 times have consecutive races been won by rookies. Billy Wade, 1964, Dick Hutcherson, 1965, and Tony Stewart 3 years ago.
Be ready.
57 laps to go. But we know Newman is fast. I mean, we've seen him qualify, track records on poles. Now he needs to be real consistent.
Top 3 clear the lap car of Brett Lodive, Ryan Newman, Jeff Gordon, and Tony Stewart.
And right behind Newman, a fellow who's had 18 straight DNWs. Did not win. It's Jeff Gordon. There you go. There's side of Tony's car.
Inside.
Tony Stewart, the 20, he didn't waste any time at all getting by Jeff Gordon.
I don't think he's going to waste any time at all getting by all these guys, so he's looking pretty racy. Remember, Stewart started this race among the last 3 after an engine change. There's some kind of trend there, Mike. Yeah. I mean, we've seen that happen. Kansas did it. Sterling did it. Now this kid's doing it.
And there where he looks so strong, he's able to drive that thing down in the corner deep, but yet it still stays on the bottom and goes through the middle of the corner, especially right down here in turn 3 and 4. Watch that thing rotate right around the bottom right there.
Car looks a little free, but that makes it fast. And you know, Tony, he's used to riding on the right rear. He's your midget sprint car driver. He's used to that. Hey, Darrell, how about Steve Grissom, who hopped into this Petty ride, the number 44, just 3 races ago, and he's out here running in 7th place.
The 1993 Busch champion.
Yeah, and I mean, he hadn't really been doing anything but testing. So, you know, it's not surprising it take him 2 or 3 races to kind of get back in the groove. But he's in the groove today.
We knew we had a solid car and we needed to have a solid finish. And wasn't that we backed off or anything. That's just all we had. And, you know, anytime you can have a good car and have a good finish and know that was the best that you had, we brought something home we can work on and try to get better for the next race, and look forward to that.
We're averaging 25 miles an hour today, so it's
still have 19 cars on the lead lap.
And still have 39 cars officially in the race, 34 of them on the racetrack. 1 minute we're down to 10 or 12 cars on the lead lap, and then all of a sudden there's a caution, and we have 19.
When the leader wrecks, a bunch of cars didn't get their lap back.
Over and over again. Dick Berggren.
Was one of the real veterans of Winston Cup racing, Terry Labonte. Such a wild race today, and we had a wild race on Friday night. So many accidents. Why is this happening?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what caused that wreck that we were in there. I saw some guys get sideways up there, lap cars, you know, in the way a lot, and the track doesn't really have 2 grooves. It's got about a groove and a half, so it makes it pretty tough there, but just one of those deals.
Disappointed Terry Labonte. We'll look forward to seeing you in tomorrow.
He was on the lead lap. when that accident happened off turn 2. And having a Terry Labonte kind of day, quietly hanging around the back 5 there.
Things heating up for the lead. Tony Stewart in the middle of the corner and into the corner. He looks a little better than Ryan Newman, Darrell.
He's gaining on. He's inching up on him. Newman just needs to pay attention to where he's going. Don't look back. When you look back, you lose time. That's an old veteran trick. A.J. Foyt told me that. Running behind a guy, bump him just a little bit. When he looks back, pass him. And if he happens to take his hand off the wheel and shake his stiff at you, hit him again.
Joe, I think with 47 laps to go, Tony, he realizes that he's faster than Ryan. You know, he's not. I don't think he's pushing the envelope right now. He needs to pick and choose where he tries to get by Ryan.
But does it look like Newman is beating Stewart up off the corner?
Looks like he's just kind of got his own little pace going here, and it's working for him. And Tony's trying to drive in real hard to catch him, but Newman's just kind of doing his own thing. He's a savvy kid, smart.
Stewart closes the gap into 1. Newman extends it coming out of turn 2. Pretty equal through 3 and 4.
Car looks good. It's right around the bottom. He's back in the throttle plenty early. Doesn't look like he's abusing the car right now, just hot rodding it around there.
Since his rookie season, 1999, Tony Stewart leads the league in short track victories with 4.
Probably could have had 5 if he hadn't pitted at Martinsville when his teammate won. Had the best car. Jeff and Larry talked him into pitting and putting tires on.
There's the Mark Martin slipping underneath Jeff Gordon. This is for 3rd.
See Jimmy Spencer in the 41 right behind this group, along with Jeff Burton in the 99.
I'm not sure if Ryan Newman and Tony Stewart have ever raced each other in open wheels or not. That's where they both came from. Tony may have been out of the series by the time Ryan got going pretty good, but I bet they've raced each other before.
Dick Berggren's with another driver who got swept up in that wreck.
Steve Park, another disappointing day. What happened out there? That was wild. Lap cars. I mean, now they line them up on the inside, and they, I guess, race and get the lap back and end up spinning rusty, and it's just a shame. Just got all of us caught up in it, and we just got the Pennzoil car where we needed it. I mean, the adjustments that Paul made were great, and the car's just starting to handle good. There's 70 to go, then you get involved in a wreck. So, I mean, just disappointing. I mean, I just want my luck to turn around. I mean, the finishes are not indicative of what this car is capable of doing. It's just a shame. I mean, I got to keep my head up, and I got to keep my spirits about me, but it's hard right now. I mean, it just, you know, it just seems like no matter what you do, you think you're in the right direction, then all of a sudden you get involved in a wreck. So I'm kind of disappointed right now.
It's going to feel so good when it does turn around, Steve. Mike?
Steve Park was also a lead lap car who got swept up in that big crash off turn 2.
Well, that 17 car continues to nibble those way to the front.
He's only got 40 laps to get there, and he's a long way behind. But, boy, if he can get another car, too, and catch a caution, he's going to be in the middle of this race for the lead.
He's pretty fast. He's 22. He's 21.8. Leaders are 21.7, so they're still a little quicker than he is, but he's in traffic. He's in traffic, so he can catch a break.
But just look at the interval. He continues to win a little way at it just a little bit here.
Yep. Jeff Burton's coming. Took 5th place from Jimmy Spencer a lap ago here. And
Bobby Hamilton's the one I feel sorry for. He got that lap back on that last caution, came in the pits, and I guess they left with the lug nuts not tight on the left rear, and his wheel came off. And I'm not going to sing the song. I mean, that's old news.
Yeah, he's in 24th a lap down.
But you know the song I'm thinking of.
You picked a fine time.
To leave me loose wheel. That was a big hit for me.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Yep. That and Don't Take You. What's the name of that song? Kenny Rogers song. Oh, Ruby. Yeah.
Trouble turn 2, Kenny Schrader and Mike Skinner.
And Skinner was having a pretty good go of it.
Yeah, he was. And caution is out on the speedway here. About 35 laps to go. Caution number 13.
Well, Schrader went in the corner outside of Blaney, and Skinner was up outside of Schrader.
There's just nothing, you know, when you get up out of the groove down there in the first turn, you go around. That's just kind of the way it's been all day.
These leaders, they have 32 laps on their tires. There's going to be about 30 laps to go. But what I'm seeing, though, with the lap times, I'm not sure the best place to be is out front on those 30-lap tires.
I ain't coming in.
Okay, you're staying out. And it looks like that's what the leaders are going to do, stay out. Jimmy Spencer comes in the 41 car.
He has to because he's been falling back, Larry.
Yeah, he was 0.3 of a second.
His lap times
lap
are
off the leader.
He's been falling back, so it makes sense for him to come in.
We'll restart with 31 to go.
18 cars still on the lead lap. The biggest thing a lot of these lead lap cars have to fight still is those lap cars. Tony Stewart, he turned down to the bottom into turn 1, tried to get underneath Ryan Newman. It didn't work.
Just wasn't anywhere to go, and nobody wanted to be on the outside. And you've seen the guys that they got trapped on the outside, man, they were doing everything they could to get back down. And which in turn you had to block and do whatever you had to do to get back down there. You're going to get hung out and go to the back. And just a shame, you know. It's a good shaped racetrack. It just needs need to get the surface a little better.
I like Tony Stewart. I mean, you know, he knows how to win here. And the reason I said that is because every time I like somebody, they wreck.
Mark Martin, he finally gets by Elliott Sadler into the lap car in the 21 car. Now Jeff Gordon's trying to get around him in 4th place.
On your quarter, inside.
Yikes, yikes.
Oh, got room. Yikes, he doesn't either. Now he does.
Yeah, it looked like Ryan Newman just ran out of racetrack over in turn 2. Tony's got the bottom line here through 3 and 4. They're side by side, all 4. 28 laps to go. Meanwhile, Mark Martin in that 6 car, he likes seeing them race side by side because he's pulling up to it.
Well, Newman's got to be careful up on that outside. No way he can hang. Nobody's been able to all day. That was inevitable. I mean, Tony's got a good car, and like I said, he's won here, so he knows what to do.
Right behind these guys, Jeff Burton in the 99. Jeff Gordon cannot get his car to the bottom of the racetrack, and they continue to go by him.
He's been hung up on the outside all day long.
Newman right to the bumper of Stewart.
Well, now we saw this happen with the last rookie that was back there trying to fight for the win and the lead. Don't want to mess around too much with those veterans.
And Mark Martin in the 6, he's right up on these guys' rear bumper. We got a 3-car race right here at the front.
And Mark's car now, I got to say, and early on, it gets better the longer they run. And he's been out there on those tires a while. He could be sitting in good shape. Obviously, I'm sure he's happy just to be where he is at this point of the race.
Even though a lot of them's been cautioned, these guys have been out there on those tires about 65 laps. Everybody was on pit road about lap 310 for fresh tires.
Jeff Burton in 4th, Gordon now 5th, Mayfield 6th, Kenseth 7th. Steve Grissom 8th, Kurt Busch 9th, and Hut Strickland 10th.
Boy, and I tell you again, just talk about Steve Grissom. He's doing a great job. I thought Busch was all over him. I thought Busch was going to make the move on him, but he's pulled away from him. He's having a good day there, buddy, Steve.
Well, Mike, under that caution, Greg Zaffadelli was talking to his driver, Tony Stewart, just about their pit strategy. Should they stay out? Should they come in for tires? They looked at the leaderboard, 18 cars in the lead lap, and they remembered back last month to Martinsville. They had a great race car, came in and pitted. They had a lot of track position to try to make up, and they couldn't quite get there. They didn't want to make the same mistake twice.
Trouble in turn 2. Caution is out because of a lot of smoke from Dave Blaney's car. Going down into turn 1, all the drivers staying way up high above where the fluid was put down from Blaney's Ford.
And you know, Jeff, a while ago, I kind of questioned, would the leaders pit, would they not pit? We're going to get restarted here maybe with about 15, 18 laps to go. I'm packing my pit equipment up. Stay out, unless you're at the back of the lead lap cars. Come in and get you 4 tires. But if you're at the front, you cannot give that track position up, Jeff.
No, $1,800 a set of tires, I'm going to stay out.
Darrell, look, stay off the radio, driver. Stay out, stay focused on what's going on, and you can win this race. You got yourself a good race car, and I agree with Larry 100%. The only difference here, Buddy Rowe, I packed my stuff up about 25 laps ago.
Well, which car am I driving?
Hey, you're the leader right now. Maybe you're driving Jeff Green's car, the 30 car, because he just pitted.
Dick Berggren.
Jeff Gordon's chassis is not the way he'd like it right now. Gordon is running in 5th spot. He said the car is loose going in and is pushing, his words, like crazy coming off the corners.
14 caution flags ties the record for the 3/4 mile configuration here at Richmond. When they come around, there will be just 20 laps to go.
You go to the races, you watch them on TV. Still got the itch for more? Try fantasy racing at NASCAR.com. Just log on to America Online, enter keyword NASCAR, or visit NASCAR.com. That's where fans like you can scratch that itch. You build your team, you go racing, you take no prisoners. Fantasy racing at NASCAR.com. Where else you gonna get this stuff? The all-new NASCAR.com. America Online, keyword NASCAR.
Little guy.
Irene, take this.
What?
It's me, Roger.
Roger?
I know. He came back as a monkey. Come back next Tuesday. I make a killing on Tuesdays. And next time, wear that red dress I like.
How will you support your family after you pass away? Conseco's life insurance policies can give your loved ones a regular monthly paycheck. Conseco, step up.
Nothing outperforms new Mobil 1.
Ever wonder what DuPont makes? Well, here's one thing. DuPont Tyvek home wrap. You won't find it wrapped around the hood of my race car, but you will find it wrapped around houses across America. DuPont scientists developed Tyvek as a protective wrap to help keep damaging water out of your walls, which helps prevent mold and mildew. Ask your builder or remodeler to protect your house with Tyvek home wrap, a miracle of science from DuPont. Hope I can figure out how to get this back on.
We believe in family. We believe in America. We believe in NASCAR. You are watching NASCAR TV, exclusively on the Speed Channel.
Green.
17 laps to go.
Boy, Tony Stewart, he's had a well of a restart. Ron Newman, he cleared the lap car of John Andretti. Next time by, 16 laps to go.
Haven't seen a restart like that since we watched Richie Evans. Wow. That's a launch. He launched it.
Before the last caution come out, we thought maybe we could get another spot or two. So at 40 laps to go, we thought we was still in pretty good shape. Probably the opportunity to win the race had probably left. The opportunity to run solidly in the top third was still a real possibility. So 40 laps to go, everybody was still real pumped up running the top three. Like I said, as it turned out, you know, we got a 4th place out of it, and everybody at Roush Racing done a whale of a job.
I think Ryan's going to get up there with about 10 to go and see what he's got.
Burton now 3rd, Mark Martin 4th, then Gordon, Mayfield, Kenseth, Grissom, Busch, and Strickland.
Pretty intense back in here for 8th, 9th, 10th, long in there. Everybody's bunched up, 5th on back. Guys are on the lead lap.
Oh, Busch against the wall. He and Strickland get together in the back straightaway. And Kurt Busch in trouble in turn 3.
I believe he's got a tire down. No caution, though. No caution.
Right front.
He's been up against that wall, I'm telling you, so many times today. He's another one of those that's on a backup car. Like Dale Jarrett was.
Easy.
He's already used this one up about 3 times.
Rear, left side.
Looks like the right sides are down, too, on that car.
Yep. He's trying to make it to the pits.
I think he's going to be out of... I think he's going to sit out on the frame.
I'll see you, Jimmy.
which is really going to hurt him coming in here second to points.
Left side tires on it.
Short tracks are hard on these rookies.
Right here, turn 5 away, right here.
Good grief.
Left rear down, a
Look at
rub
all
on the
that
right
junk
front.
on the back straightaway.
I don't think they'll throw a caution, though, Darrell. It's down the bottom of the racetrack. Normally, you don't see cars down there. 10 to go next time by.
I'm sure not wanting them to throw one, I can tell you that.
Kurt Busch gets his tires changed, and he's headed back out. He's going to lose a couple, 3 laps. Jeff Burton in the 99, he's really pulled away from his teammate, Mark Martin's 6 car, 10 laps to go that time by.
You know, before this last caution, Mark was up there racing the 20 and the 12. So that last restart hurt him.
Jeremy Mayfield putting the pressure to Jeff Gordon now.
Got him. He's got a nose under him. He should be able to get under him in the corner.
Matt Kenseth in the 17 trying to latch on to the rear bumper. Jeremy Mayfield, if he takes that bottom group away, he wants to be able to follow him through. Jeremy clears Jeff Gordon. Matt Kenseth jumps up in there. He's going to take the position away getting into turn 3. 8 laps to go this time by.
Jeff pushed up over there off the 2. Had to get up out of the gas a little bit and let them both go by.
His car has just not ran very well on the bottom today.
No, it hadn't.
Kurt Busch back to the pits when they replaced the lefts. They didn't fix the rub in the right front. Now he has new ones on it, and he's getting a penalty. He's going to be held. Craven and Nemechek side by side into turn 3. 9th place battle.
Jimmy Spencer in tow.
And I think the difference right here between Nemechek and Craven was in for tires on about lap 365, so he has much fresher tires, so it's able him to make some position along with Jimmy Spencer, who also pitted for tires. But they're about a third of a lap behind the leaders.
Yeah, the leaders are long gone. They've spaced themselves out. Tony stretching out on Newman. Newman stretching out on Burton.
Remember what Joe Gibbs said last night in the pre-race? You know, he said all his cars are starting up front. That's a good thing. They said, well, now we found a problem with the engine, but we got it fixed, and we're all starting in the back. And he said, oh, well, that's a good thing. And you know what? It's going to be a good thing for Tony Stewart.
5 laps to go.
That's optimism, I can tell you.
You bet.
He's definitely starting to stretch it out on Ryan Newman. Has a pretty clean racetrack in front of him.
Yep.
Kurt Busch is back out there before he's got his hands full.
He's just barely going. He would get down to the inside, but he can't.
Four to go. "14 caution flags, and half a day later, we're coming around for 3 laps to go in the Pontiac. More excitement than you can stand in a day and a half, 400.
Sterling Marlin, our points leader, he gets underneath Joe Nemechek.
Sterling is
the battle for 11th.
Got tires, and he's going to run out of time. Is his problem.
But he's had the kind of day he needed for that point situation. Came in here leading by 143 points, and in second position, Kurt Busch. He's still all over the racetrack up in turn 2. 2 laps to go.
Pretty much a done deal now. How do we start this day off? Blue skies. Nothing but blue skies do I see.
White flag, Mike.
Tony Stewart has only started 7 races at Richmond International Speedway, and he's about to go to victory lane for the 3rd time here. He won at Atlanta, and if he rounds turns 3 and 4, he'll score his 2nd victory of 2002. Tony Stewart's Home Depot Pontiac wins the Pontiac Excitement 400.
Ryan Newman 2nd, Jeff Burton 3rd, teammate Mark Martin in 4th, Jeremy Mayfield finishes 5th, Matt Kenseth 6th, Jeff Gordon 7th, Steve Grissom 8th, Ricky Craven 9th, and Jimmy Spencer comes home 10th.
Kenny Bernstein, 6-time NHRA World Champion with over 500 career victories. When you've won it all, where do you go from there? Here's to 23 years of no limits.
Go Kenny, go Kenny.
If you're thinking about calling 1-800-HAIR-CLUB, you may be wondering, who Who is a Hair Club client?
I am.
I am.
We're clients too.
Call 1-800 Hair Club for this free hair loss booklet and arrange to speak to a hair loss expert today. With some of the latest breakthroughs in hair loss technology, you really can't tell you've ever had a hair loss problem. And that's the point. So call 1-800 Hair Club right now, and you'll be happy to say,
I am.
Coming up next, Michael, Kenny, Alan, and Johnny get you inside Winston Cup. Coming up next on Speed.
Isn't it time you took back your backyard? Hi, I'm David Dodd with something amazing from Coleman, the outdoor experts that can make mosquitoes disappear. We've screened in an entire backyard and let loose 2,000 hungry female mosquitoes to see if the mosquito Deleto system really works. The inhibitor unit, with its patented scent, moves mosquitoes away from you and your family and toward the propane-powered trap unit, which imitates the heat, the scent, and the CO2 signature of a warm-blooded animal to reel mosquitoes in and keep them there, breaking the reproduction chain. Over time, your property can become a virtual no-fly zone, and it keeps working all season long. No sprays, no lotions, no nasty chemicals. Order now or visit your local retailer. $249.99 includes everything you see here. 60-day money-back guarantee if you aren't delighted. Order now and take back your backyard.
I have to admit, last night when I went back to the bus after we got rained out last night, I was pretty down about the car and you know, was somewhat optimistic though when we came out today and had the sunshine that maybe the car would free up a little bit. And you know, we started those first two runs and it got so tight, just as tight as it was last night, and I kept saying how many laps are left. I just wanted to get it over with. But you know, Greg Zippadelli and those guys on the Home Depot team, I mean, they worked so hard, and I've never ever had Greg Zippadelli give up on me. And you know, that's probably the first time that I've ever felt like in my head that I gave up on a race. But you know, I gave up for about 100 laps, and after we finally started seeing some improvement in the car, then it started getting my confidence back and getting me pumped up. But you know, with the way our luck's been the last 3 weeks, it wasn't hard to break that confidence down early.
Today, Tony Stewart comes from the back to win. Rookie Ryan Newman, Jeff Burton, Mark Martin, Jeremy Mayfield, a lot of turnarounds. And I want to note Steve Grissom in 8th place, first top 10 finish in 4 seasons. Good to see him back and running well.
Saw 3 of the Roush cars in the top 6. Of course, Kurt Busch was there as well. They had that problem with a handful of laps to go. Ward Burton, our pole sitter, looks like it was pretty much going to be a Ward Burton day.
Boy, it did.
There's the transmission up.
And then it was a Ricky Rudd day, and that went away.
Just a good run for the Alto Ford, and we didn't have to tune on the car much all day, and the racetrack conditions stayed pretty similar for us. And you know, it's a good when you can start out and be happy with the car, and then at the end of the race be happy with the car and not have to change it a whole lot. But congratulations to Tony. He did an awesome job. And you know, we talked earlier about the Silvercon guys running at Richmond back in '95, '96, coming back in 2002 and running 1-2.
Well, the track was in, you know, awesome shape, in the groove. The groove was just incredible. The grip was there all day. You could run fast all day. The tires are awesome. But when you got out of the groove, it wasn't what you wanted. You know, a lot of people were upset that they sealed the racetrack, but I got to tell you, you know, sealing the racetrack's what's made it a great racetrack. And why it didn't work out this time, I have no idea. But if someone asked me, should they seal the racetrack, I'd have voted yes, because every time they sealed the racetrack, it's made for better racing.
Sterling Marlin, Matt Kenseth makes some inroads on that point lead. Kenseth was 6th. Marlin was 11th today. Kurt Busch, Mark Martin gained some ground. Rusty Wallace. And on back through Ricky Rudd, who drops to 10th. And here is the rest of the top 20.
Once the cautions came, you know, we didn't have a chance. This car was slow to get going, but just incredible on the long run, and it showed that all day. We would fall back in the middle of the field and then march back up on the long run. So we were lucky that we didn't have more cautions, lucky that we had track position, great pit stops, a good effort by everybody.
Had a little problem at the beginning, and I got in somebody, you know, messed left front fender up, we had to come back and, you know, start in the back again, just kept working our way up there. But, man, my hat's off this Dodge Dealers UAW Dodge team today, man. Did a great job. Ray Sammy made good calls to piss. The car handled great. It's the best car I've ever had here. We just needed more time there. We've been all right.